And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the Unrise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we're joined for this another in-studio special guest, the return of the Giant himself, Jamie the Giant.
Here we go. It's been a while, hasn't it? Part 2 commence.
Jamie, first of all, happy Star Wars Day.
May the 4th be with you.
I love this guy. Yes.
That wasn't pre-rehearsed either.
That wasn't. No.
So there you go.
So we're not going to get our lightsabers out. No fighting.
Excuse me. We don't want any sword fighting, Giles.
Jamie, right, yes, so, yes, like the last time you came, that was it 2020, in studio, this was the 2020 Olympia.
Yes. I remember we did Steve Kuklo and Milos and somebody else.
Hang on. Steve Kuklo, Milos, hang on, we had Dennis James? Dennis James.
Yes, we had DJ on.
That's right. I think because what I did, I basically, rather than having you just as a guest, I kind of roped you in as a co-host.
Yes.
And you were dying by the end of it.
Oh, God, I was like, whew. It was an all-day affair, but we got through it. It was a good episode, that one, so we'll try and make this one even better.
It was. Because I'll be honest, right? This is, I don't know whether you know this, but when I started MD Global Muscle with MD back at the end of 2018, my original plan, because we used to use the other studio up in Wigan, my original plan was, because we filmed 2 episodes every 2 weeks in a 2-day block, the original plan was to have different co-hosts.
Right, I see.
So I was going to have a 4 guests co-host rotation. I was going to have Luke Sando.
Yep.
There was the other one, Zach Khan, AJ, and yourself. And I was going to try and make that work. Then after episode 4, AJ said, well, look, Giles, I'm loving this. I'm happy to come over every 2 weeks. And I was like, well, okay, let's go. So I think that's kind of why I brought you in on that episode. Because,
because I'm tall and, stature is similar to AJ's. Yeah. Just a different shade.
yeah. So, Jamie, first of all, thank you so much for coming all this way, mate. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
And I think first I want to kick off with the really, really good news that you're now with Mutant. So can you just tell us how this all came about?
So this all came about because I came away from my old sponsor in February. Long story short, our views align on a few things. And it's very important when you're an athlete that you embody the sponsor's beliefs and views on supplements, the industry, and they see potential in you as an athlete as well. So long story short, things didn't work out, it's fine. But I was left in a position where I was unsponsored. As a pro athlete, basically the sponsorship money that I get paid on a salary just pays for my gym, which is private. Yeah. It has overheads. So the sponsorship money that I receive basically pays for the overheads of my gym. It's just one stress that's not there. Okay. Yeah. So you can imagine the missus when I came away from my last sponsor, she's like, well, how are you going to pay for the gym? Now we can pay for it, it's not something we can't pay for, but it's just a lot nicer when someone else is paying for you.
Yes, of course.
So that led me, and my plan was always, after the November trip to Vegas, when I went to train with Milos, and we'll probably speak about that later. Yeah. I got speaking to a lot of good people there, and that's a great thing about that particular area of the world at the minute, is a lot of great people within our industry in one area. So one of the people was Mark Anthony, the first men's physique Olympia champion. Yeah. And he advised me if I wanted to. Now we know there's a part of bodybuilding as a pro athlete as well as an amateur, and it's called playing the game. And Flex Lewis on an interview recently said that he's very good at playing the game. I think it was actually Jose who said that Flex was brilliant at playing the game.
Jose Raymond.
That's it, yeah.
Yep.
And I've known that from day one as an amateur. Not necessarily playing the game, and I don't mean like sucking up, but just being a nice person and aligning yourselves with the right people and showing them of your intentions and that you want to go far and you want to support bodybuilding. So Mark says one of the best things that I could do was go to the Arnold Classic in Ohio. So that was in March. My trip was in November to Vegas, and I said, you know what, Mark, that's a great idea. If I want to keep my face in the eyes of the right people, the judges and the industry higher ups, I need to get out of my bubble in the UK, especially in off-season. Off-season athletes can become very quiet, very within themselves. They'll post less on social media. because I think as athletes we find it less exciting and we find it boring. So we kind of get into this mindset that if I find it boring, everyone watching on social media and seeing these posts must find it boring as well. So I'm just not going to post anything. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to wait till I start my prep, and then it's like all systems go on social media again.
Yeah.
This time I didn't want it to be like that because I'm 36 now. The clock is running out, so to speak. I need to take advantage of every kind of angle we've got in this industry. And one of those is social media, sponsorships, affiliations with people in the industry. So that just seemed like a perfect trip. And after going, it just confirmed everything that I already thought, that the US is kind of where you need to be as an athlete if you want to pursue bodybuilding as a pro, if you want to get noticed by the right people, and if you want to climb that ladder. In the UK and Europe as well, I just think we're big fish in a very small pond here, and we need to branch out.
Yeah. I think it's, sorry to interrupt, I think it was a smart move. When you said you were going, I said that's smart, because I think first thing that pops into my head is that like I came down to see you a couple of times in January, February, filmed your training, and you have to see you in the flesh to fully appreciate you. And then obviously the off season with what you've been doing with Milos, like I said, to get out there and just be there, I said that'll get you as much attention as if you are on stage. Yeah,
definitely. And it did, there's plenty of social media posts.
It did, yeah.
Where I might have got a good angle, but I think a lot of people were surprised, stood next to these other athletes in the industry, and it's like, wow, you look massive. So when I went there, I met I seen Ron Partlow on day one at the gym.
Yeah, I know Ron.
He's obviously affiliated with Mutant for a long time. We got talking. He said, "Are you going to be at the meet and greet later on?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll probably see you there." First person I bumped into, Ron Partlow. So it's like it was just meant to be.
Yeah.
We walked around the meet and greet for a little bit until I got stopped by person number one shortly after we walked into the room. And then, lo and behold, 2 minutes later, I had a line of 20 people queuing up for a photo.
Did you?
So Ron was like, "I think I'm going to see you later." I was like, "All right, I'll see you later." So I was stood in the middle of the room. And at one point, Sean Clarida came over. That was a good picture.
Oh my God.
The giant and the giant killer.
Because in this first segment, we don't really bring up any visuals, but the second part, stuff we've talked about, I'd like to bring up in the second segment of this episode. So I'm going to bring that up, because that was like 5'1", 5'2", Sean Clarida with you like 18 foot tall.
Yeah, and that was a great photo. But he's a great guy. He was the one who came over for the photo. So it's not like I was trolling him.
Yeah.
He was trolling me. And then Ron came over later on and said, "Do you want to go for some food later?" So I was later on in the hotel with him, Dusty, and the Mutant team eating steak.
Dusty Hanshaw, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it just went from there, really. I think one thing that I've noticed from the guys at Mutant is they're a very close-knit group of people, group of athletes and a group of employees.
How long's Ron been with them?
Ron's been with them years.
There you go. That for me is always a good sign with companies. When you see that they keep their athletes for many, many years.
Yeah. And Dusty came away for a short period, but he said to me when I was talking to them, he says, "Look, when I left for the short period I left for, is probably the worst thing I ever did.
Really?
Coming back to Mutant was the best thing I ever did."
Yeah.
And I know now from travelling to FIBO with them, which is April, just gone, they're a very, very professional outfit. Something I've never been with on that level before as a sponsored athlete.
Really? Okay.
So that's amazing for me, because I think they're the kind of company that I would like to stay with for the rest of my career.
And it's not just about the amount of the contract. It's about whether you can work with these people all year round, and whether they'll support you if you decide to skip a show or you have an injury, or and also promote you properly as an athlete. And,
exactly. Because I'm very much like that as well. I'm a long-term thinker.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will go for the highest offer, and that might last 2-3 months, a year tops. I signed into a 2-year contract with Mutant, and they're very happy and confident that will be continued after that as well.
Sorry, how long?
2 years.
Oh wow, you got 2 years. Wow, great. That's great. Good. 2 years to prove yourself as well. Now this is because this is 2 years that. Like you said, you want to really put your foot on the pedal now and really kind of go for it and see what you're made of.
Definitely. There's little things from them already that's like green lights, very, very good things, not warning bells like I've had in the past.
Yeah.
Things like a lot of athletes now, they'll be governed by a code system. you get a discount code as an athlete. You're then monitored on your sales from that discount code, which makes you feel like a salesman, not an athlete.
Yeah.
So my view was, yep, I understand this sales part of this. I need to bring value to your company, but me as an athlete should be a portion of that value. Mutant straight away said to me, you're not going to be monitored on a code. You will get a code, but it's not something that we're going to be monitoring you on.
Great.
We're monitoring your performance as an athlete and someone on social media.
Yeah.
How you come across, how you handle yourself, blah, blah, blah. Another thing which is like a massive tick in the box was we are at the Arnold Classic Expo. We might speak about that later on.
Okay.
But because you're competing at that show, we don't require you to stand on the stand. You give us what time you can give us.
Wow.
And that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because
my God,
that shows straight away that they've got my best interests at heart as an athlete.
Yeah.
Not just a sponsored athlete and a sales representative, so to speak. So,
yeah.
Yep, it's all going good so far, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Yeah, I just, like I said, because I think I spoke to you when you were kind of without a sponsor, and we spoke outside your gym, and you know, you kind of went, you know, you got confidence in yourself and what you're doing and what you're bringing. Because thing is, I think certainly with the rise of digital media, with things like social media and YouTube, like you're very consistent with your social media and your YouTube. You put out good quality, well-filmed, well-edited content all year round. I mean, that's why I love coming to see you, because, you know, you're like an hour and a half down the road, and I know as soon as you get the camera, you're going to be interacting with the camera. You give me gold. You just have to point the camera and shoot. But that's a big deal for a supplement company to have someone that isn't just, I mean, the days of kind of like Dorian Yates kind of just hiding himself away, popping up one day a year, winning, and then disappearing again. That's not, you know, unless you're Mr. Olympia, that's no good to a supplement company. They need someone that's going to be... And the thing is, you're very, what's the word? Amiable?
Amiable?
Amiable? Malleable? Well, you got over those leads. I mean, very flexible.
Versatile.
Well, whatever, yeah. So, but it's, I mean, that's why that guys like sort of in the early days, like see guys like Luke Sando and James Hollinshead were really, because they jumped on like the podcast thing, and now it's kind of everyone does it. I mean, you know, you're here today providing value really for your sponsor.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what you've got to expect an athlete as well. You've got to, any business relationship is a two-way partnership. Yeah. It's give and take. And I think some people are in a situation right now where it's a lot of take, not a lot of give.
Yeah.
But that is a development of a person and an athlete within yourself. That's something you've got to kind of swim through to get to the other side. And that'll only come with time and experience.
Yeah.
I'm seasoned at this. You know, I'm 36 years old now. I've been doing this competing-wise for over 10 years.
2012, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Classic in 2012. I can't believe that. I mean, we'll come to the photos in the second part, but I think to see that, like I said, I've posted it many times in Hot News in Global and when you've been on and on Skype and everything. And it's just so... It's such a transformation, really, to see that you've gone from that to, well, a mutant.
Yes, exactly. And that's the great thing about the Mutant sponsorship. It's the branding fits the profile.
Yeah.
It's very good. And they see that as well. And they've got ideas for T-shirts and maybe supplements and in the future. So it's going to be good.
Hang on. What was it? A giant spin-off Mutant supplement range? That's because Sean Ray's got his all-in-one thing, all-in.
Yep.
I could see, because the thing is, the giant name, it's what? Get giant. No. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. We'll shelve that one for now. But it's like it's a brand within itself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, people know you as the giant. You know, as much as they know you as Jamie. Hang on. What are you calling yourself now? Christian. Johal.
Christian.
Biggs. Biggs. So Jamie Christian. Now.
I just thought it was easier. So I got so many questions when I said big. It was like, it's not even worth trying to explain. And then, to be honest with you, when I went to change my passport and driving license, I was like,
God,
I'm waiting until 2024. I need to renew it.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, I mean, what I'm saying is like your branding is quite strong. That would probably be very attractive to a supplement brand.
Yeah. My actual name's actually irrelevant.
Yeah.
The giant's relevant.
Yeah.
But yes, that's something I am firmly aware of and want to capitalise on more so now that I am coming towards the end of my career, because we all need a back door, and something like that, some business opportunities with my profile is where I kind of want to be working towards in these next few years.
Yeah. No, I can see that. No, I'm glad that you found a company that's a good fit for you and they're obviously supporting you properly. And like you said, you don't feel like a salesman that's like pimping yourself out for discount codes, you know?
What do you reckon about this then? They want me to start doing TikTok.
Jamie dancing on TikTok. What do you think to that? Oh, well, yeah, but it's not all... I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know, but is it not all just dancing and miming? And
there's talking on there as well. Like,
you can do funny stuff.
Do funny stuff?
Yeah.
You do funny stuff?
I'm surprised you don't have TikTok.
I don't have TikTok.
I did one yesterday actually in the gym.
Did you?
And that was...
not twerking, was it? Twerking.
Well, if I said Beyonce...
No!
Then if you're lucky, you should have put a ring on it.
I don't want to know. No, I do actually.
Stay tuned.
Okay, well, I'll is that going to be on your Instagram as well?
Yeah, it'll be on Instagram.
Right, okay. Okay, now, going back to the Arnold Classic, I mean, there was a lot of talk around you, because I said you just being there, that group photo, which we'll come to in the second part of this episode.
Yep.
What was that like being out there? I mean, I know you've been to a few American shows. You competed in Puerto Rico. And so what was that like as an overall experience? Is that meeting Milos for the first time?
No, I met Milos before.
Oh, of course. You went out.
Ago.
Yeah.
And in Vegas. But it was good in the sense that I met Milos in Vegas in November, and I was about 305 pounds when I went out to Vegas.
Yeah.
And I left Vegas about 315, so I'd put on 10 pounds.
Okay.
But when I seen Milos in March, I was 340 pounds.
Jesus.
So I'd put on another 25, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
And he was like, "What did you do?"
Well, what you told me to do, mate.
Exactly. I said, I've just been eating my food and training hard.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Wow." He says, "You look like a different person." So that was good to see that from him. And I did actually catch him staring at me in the gym one day, and I just like looked over from the machine. He was like, just like, couldn't work out what it was, I don't think. So that was good. And then obviously the reaction from not just the people in like the crowds, the fans. It was more so the reaction from your peers, your fellow bodybuilders and coaches and everything else. That was...
What was the most common thing that they initially said to you?
You're a lot bigger in person.
There you go. I'd have put money on that.
Yeah. And a lot of people in the expo was like, "You're the biggest person here."
Yeah.
Even bigger than the strongman. And I couldn't get over it because...
Wow.
You remember the picture, there's a famous picture of Jay and two strongmen. And Jay looked like a little, not a little boy,
and
but
Jay was a monster at
a lot
the time.
smaller. Yeah. So that was good. But one thing I did realise in America, which is great again, was the fans are so welcoming and everybody wanted a picture. And they didn't mind coming to ask you for a picture. They're the opposite to reserved.
Okay.
Whereas when I went to FIBO, the European fans are very different. They're a lot more reserved.
Really?
In
Germany? In Germany, the fans are crazy. They're like...
Yeah, it was crazy, but on a
changed.
There was a different feel from the people. Okay. There was almost... I'm not saying the Americans weren't polite, because they were, but the Germans or the Europeans at the German show were like, "Can we make a photo, please?"
Make a photo with you?
Can we make a photo?
Yeah.
All the time, yeah. Whereas the Americans just couldn't grab you saying, "Hey man, can I get a photo?" Like,
yeah.
That's my American accent.
Okay. Sounds Welsh.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So obviously because I mean, like I said, I'll show that photo. But there was a group. Who was in the picture? Everyone was in it, and it was like,
yeah,
and it just looked like you'd been CGI'd.
Yes, it did look weird.
Did.
Even my missus was like, "Bloody hell, what have you been eating out there?"
Yeah,
burgers,
everything.
Yeah. So that was a great trip, and again, it just made me realise that if you do take the time, effort, money to travel and meet these people, experience these things, it's a very short career, and we can get lost in off seasons in our little holes, in our little caves like Dorian. You're missing out on so much. And if anything, having these little things to break up an off season and the monotony of bodybuilding, it just allows you to progress, I think, and still enjoy it. Because it is mundane, it is monotonous in the off season, and you can get a bit bummed out at times. Why would we not want to travel, meet new people, have new experiences, and learn new things as well? You know, what are you doing? How are you training? Maybe what you're taking? Is anything? This coach doing anything different with you than Milos is doing with me? It's about sharing ideas, making contacts, and then that makes a future in itself.
Well, because of that, you got the Mutant contract. I'm not saying that wouldn't have happened, but you certainly increased the odds by going out there and, because a lot of bodybuilders. I remember Vince Taylor once. He said he won the nationals in 88, and he said he literally just sat at home waiting for the phone to ring, and it didn't ring.
Yeah.
And he thought, well, I'm a pro now. That they expect kind of things. Some athletes sometimes expect things just to happen magically overnight.
Yeah.
And if you actually look at the most successful people, like the Sean Rays, the Flex Lewis and stuff, they've really had to get out and hustle. Yeah. They've had to go out and create opportunity to make things happen. Because like you said, it can be a very short career.
Yep.
And you can get to the end of it and go, oh, I've got nothing to show for it.
Yeah. And that's a great point as well, because I think sometimes, especially when you turn pro, you've got it built up in your head that it's going to be this and it's going to be that. It's going to be so much different. And you're going to have all these people sending you sponsorship requests and throwing money at you. It's nothing like that. Absolutely nothing like that. Nothing changes apart from you putting on your Instagram IFBB Pro after your name.
Yeah.
That is the only thing that changes. What changes from there is what you make change.
Yeah.
Your input. And I've seen so many bodybuilders become professional and chase it down for years and expect all these things and then just do nothing. And they're still probably, and then they get negged out because they think, shit, it's actually not what I thought it was.
They get to the end of it, and then you see how many times you've seen them being bitter and kind of resentful of, I just wasted 10 years of my life on that. It's like, well, actually, like I remember Flex Lewis has told me stories about, at the early days when he'd having to sleep on sofas and, and flying himself out and staying at people's houses to, making him, he said, always being like his body shaved and lean. So, because if somebody cancelled a photo shoot or someone didn't turn up, he would always be on standby within an hour to get like stuff like that, being on standby, making yourself available, hustling, where's the hustle in bodybuilding,
Yeah,
like I said, so like Sean Ray, I mean, people love him or hate him, that guy is still making a good living from the industry. People like Dennis James, because they've actually got the hustle and they're not afraid to put things to people and,
You got to evolve with the times, and you got to try and almost be one step ahead of people.
Yeah.
And that includes being one step ahead of your competitors. And part of that is going to these shows, getting out there, putting yourself out there on social media every day. Because once you're in their eye lines, you'll stay in their eye lines until you do something wrong. Then you might be in their eye lines for the wrong reasons. But it definitely holds weight. I remember, I think it was James who said once, when you're a professional, there's a moment in time when you stop becoming a number and you become a name.
Yeah.
And that's the goal for any pro, is to not be that number anymore. Not be number 6, but Jamie, centre stage. And that's the ongoing battle that we have, and that's why we need to keep showing up.
Because when you're in an amateur show, your number will be 116 to the centre of the stage. Can you swap with 114?
Yeah.
But when you're at the Arnold Classic, they're going, can Jamie come to the centre? Can you swap with Brandon Curry? That's right. But that's interesting. You go from a number to a name. Yeah. So it gives you a stronger identity.
Yeah. And this actually now all goes back to the conversation that we had on the last time we was here.
Yeah.
And that was trying to get invited for the Arnold Classic Ohio.
Yeah.
That was another reason.
You didn't get it. I gutted you didn't get that, right?
Yeah. Well, this is another reason why I went to Vegas, why I went to Ohio, is to establish these connections. It's to be noticed by the right people, because that does matter.
Yeah.
Unless you're a freak. And I am a freak in some respects, but sometimes I think my personality can perhaps come across too nice, like Mr. Nice Guy. And it's true sometimes that the nice guy finishes last, because you perhaps don't ask the right questions or don't be a bit forceful with where you place yourself, who you get in front of.
Yeah.
So that's something about my character has perhaps evolved over the years. It's knowing my worth and knowing what I need to do to get to where I need to go. So Arnold Classic 2023, March. I will get the invite. Get
him invited, seriously, because you're going to be a year better again by then.
Yeah.
And you're already like sort of, a successful pro. You're doing well. You're progressing. You're making good gains. You're lining. You've got a good supplement company sponsor. You've got everything set up right at home. You've got your own private gym. Which is incredible. Great coach. So everything's kind of, all the stars are aligned for you.
Yeah.
So it's So as a British athlete, what was that like being there in attendance and seeing Samson doing so well? taking 4th place. What was that like? Was that motivating, or tell us?
It's very motivating because we've came up together.
Yeah.
We've all came up together. Me, Samson, James, Nathan, Sasan, all the guys who are doing well at the minute in the UK scene. We all started on the UK BFF stage.
That's right.
And it's actually, I get quite, it's nostalgic when you start thinking about the UK BFF days because they're not forgotten. And I remember the Nottingham Concert Hall, my hometown. That was amazing, being able to just wake up in the morning, travel to the venue, like half an hour drive max into the city.
The atmosphere, it's great.
Yeah, the atmosphere. And I've got so many memories from that show and from those shows with that federation. I actually had Sean O'Reilly down to train at the gym.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
the judge.
a few months back.
Okay. Is he still in good shape? Is he still in great shape?
Still in good shape, yeah.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah. And it's these memories that you think, I've got these forever.
Yeah.
And now I want to just make more memories within bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I can't remember what you said at first. I went off cue with the actual question.
I've completely forgot.
The British guy, Samson.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, seeing him do well, it just brought back a lot of memories, and it made me think.
Right.
Do you know what? I know where I think I can be. I've seen how much James has progressed, Nathan's progressed, Samson's progressed. I'm gonna be that next one. I'm gonna be that next one that people speak about, saying, "Shit, he's putting the work." Because I saw Samson in the gym probably 1 or 2 days out.
Okay. Was that with Milos?
He's posing for Milos,
yeah.
And I was like, man, that's the best Samson ever. He was dry, full. I mean, James was joking on I think Fuad's podcast last time he was on it about his chest. And he's always had this like ballooned chest.
His chest is incredible.
Chest is crazy.
I mean, sorry, his upper chest, even when I went to stay at his house, and he was fasted, he just done cardio, had no breakfast, and he had no pump, he just literally took his clothes and posed, and his side chest, his upper chest was so full and popping. It was like, I mean, you always want to get your upper chest as thick as your lower chest, it's like, it's so evenly, it's like Brandon Curry's, it's so evenly developed. It's just incredible. It's like bulbous.
Yeah. So
I'm jealous.
Me too.
Yeah.
Samson.
Yeah. Give us your chest routine.
No, it's I think it should be motivating for the pros at the minute in the UK scene, but as the amateurs as well, seeing what can happen with time. And I just want to say that with time as well, because I think a lot of people these days are impatient and they see what they see on social media, but they don't see the backstory and the time and the effort and the suffering. I mean, I competed with Samson and James at the British for the first time in 2015. I
was just coming to 2015.
7 years ago.
Because I was thinking about the lineup in that. You had James Hollins, didn't make top 6, did he?
No, not that year.
So James Hollins didn't even make top 6 and he won the Supers the year before. You had Luke Sander, who was 5th.
I think Luke came 5th, yeah.
Yeah.
Laurie came
Laurie
second.
Carr, he's a pro now.
Samson came 3rd.
Was he 3rd?
I think Laurie was 2nd and Samson was 3rd.
That's right, and you won.
I was 1st.
Yeah.
I think Dan McNabb competed then. That lineup was
incredible,
full of talent.
And they've all gone on and done well.
Yeah,
you know.
Yes, and that year obviously Sasan turned pro. Rob Taylor was still coming up.
Was he intermediate that one?
I think he might have been.
Or was he light heavy by that point?
And then he was light heavyweights the year after.
That's right. Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and he was really good then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the talent that's come through Britain's crazy. And I can just see the talent in the UK right now as well. It's there. It's getting better. I think the message to some of them is that patience thing. It's they're ready, but probably need 5 or 10 more pounds.
Yeah.
I think there's so many shows now, it's almost like there's a carrot dangled in front of you every month. Oh, shall I do that show? Shall I do that show? Well, there's that show abroad. Shall I do that one? Obviously, when we was trying to turn pro, and there was just you monthly qualifiers and then the British finals.
It's one chance.
It's one chance. Yeah. And that actually forced you to have a long period off
to
grow.
I mean, Zach Khan is a great example.
Yeah.
I mean, in 2000, he was still technically a junior, just out of it.
Yeah.
I think he was 21 and he got 4th that year. And he was always 2nd or 3rd for the next like 9 years until he got it in 2009.
Yeah.
So he said, I literally only had one chance. If I got second at the British, I had to wait a whole year till I got my next crack. So if I blew it or whatever, or somebody else better came along, that's it. I had to wait another year and another year and another. So 9 years, someone that good.
I know.
You know?
But for a lot of people these days, that wouldn't be a bad thing. Because I think the point is that they would have that time to improve their physique.
Yeah.
And some people are, I think at the minute, from the outside looking in, rushing, which I can completely understand, because I got to the position I was in 2018, and that was me. I was like, right, this year I'm going to do as many shows as I can to turn pro.
Yeah.
And I did 4.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't quite ready to compete as a pro yet, but I knew I'd done enough with my physique where it was to get that pro card and then step it up to the next level. Because sometimes you just need that card to take a load of pressure off.
So you wanted to get it just so you could just tick that off and then put time into your physique to come back, a year or two later as a you know, because you knew you had the structure and everything was there.
Yeah. Concentrate on the new goal.
Yeah.
And that's obviously the pro debut, which was good in Spain show. I enjoyed that show.
Yes.
And then the British was after that, and that was even better showing for me. So I think this year will be the best version yet as a professional, because last year was post-COVID. COVID had meant that I'd had a very short off season and bought a house. My dog passed away.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
You're still posting about that now, and because I said, look, because I post underneath, and because I'm obsessed with my pets, my cats. I mean, I just love them, and I think, like, I was feeling it. I was feeling the grief from you. It was a French bulldog, wasn't it? Yeah. Like it just like because you're a very close family, you know, you're your family unit. And it obviously really hit you hard, didn't it? Yeah,
it's still hard to talk about, to be fair. And
Crazy, isn't it?
People look in and think, it's a pet. What are you on about? Well, we know as pet lovers and owners that it's family.
Yeah, big time.
So yeah, that hit me hard, and there was a lot of stress around that time as well. I mean, we took after the June show in Bahamas, where I thought I could have done better. Not that I didn't look better. I thought I could have deserved a higher placing.
Yeah, you look good there.
Yeah, I was very happy with the look, but the placing, I thought, I think I deserve more.
I remember just the memories popped into my head. I remember when it was a side chest shot, and I think you were next to Theo.
Yeah.
And it was like Akeem, and I remember pointing out at the time your delts were the size of the other guys' heads.
Yeah.
Like and you literally were like, I think that's where people really saw the scale of how much room you take up on the stage.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a difficult thing, because I was speaking to one of the judges who came over to the UK, and he says sometimes it's difficult to judge athletes when they're so different, because you got a line of apples and then a banana, you know, completely different thing we're trying to look at and compare there. So I think I've done enough time now, and the judges will know what to expect with me, that they perhaps find it easier to compare me. Hopefully. So, do you know? Sorry,
just a silly thing, but do you know what? Wouldn't it have been cool if you'd done that Fort Legion show and you'd have got a call out with Sean Clarida?
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Because he beat Regan, like he was 174 and he beat Regan at 254. Yeah. Wouldn't it have been a cool, like Ferrigno?
Yes.
Lou Ferrigno in the 93 Olympia with Flavio Bascinini, 4'11", 6'5".
It would have been great.
How cool that would have been.
Maybe we'll get the opportunity.
Yeah, that'd be cool, because I mean, he's 212 guys jumping in open shows now.
Yeah, he's well up for it, Sean. I think he'll probably do the same again this year, maybe.
Possibly.
We shall see.
Right, I want to bring something up. Because I wrote about this. I don't think it was this issue. Hang on. No, I don't think it was this one. No, it's the issue before of MD. Basically, I think it ties in with the whole health. You know, obviously we've had some deaths, Cedric Millen, Sean Roden, you know, George Peterson, these guys dying. And I hope that bodybuilders are becoming more health conscious than they've ever been, because I think with what's going on, I think it's certainly something that needs to be addressed. Yeah. Now you're 6'5", you've got a huge frame. I mean, you've dropped a bit of weight to 330 pounds at the moment, correct?
Yep.
You know, I've seen you at like 340 plus. Now everyone keeps saying to you, okay, you need another 10 pounds, another 10 pounds, another 10 pounds. And then what I did, I wrote about in MD about example of Tony Freeman. He was
Yeah.
what, 6'2", about 6'2".
Yeah.
He's only a couple of inches shorter, but again, a big guy with a big frame.
Yeah.
He was a guy that didn't have to get, say, as thick as a Ronnie or a Marcus Rule to do well. He just got his physique in such nice balance
Yeah.
So what I was trying to aim at, I said, because I think you've actually got a very aesthetic physique.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look at your front lat spread, it's a very pleasing. It's big, but it's a pleasing physique. Like
Yeah.
your side chest, your side tricep, you've got some nice aesthetics.
Yeah.
So I was trying to point out to say, look, when you look at Jamie's physique, because like I said, I said to you in the living room, I said you could be 400 pounds off season, and people will still say, yeah, but he needs another 10 pounds, another 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's not healthy.
No.
So for me, I think for you, I just think it's not about more and more body weight all the time, because I don't think it's healthy.
No.
I think personally, emphasizing balance on your physique
Yeah.
would actually get you to where you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. What do you think?
No, I agree. And I'll go so far to say if this year leads to the same outcome in the sense that the judges say, you need to be bigger, you need to be 7-10 pounds, whatever it is, bigger.
Yeah. I think it's lazy. I think it's lazy feedback.
I honestly feel as though I'll probably say, well, I'm not prepared to get any bigger.
Yeah.
I can't get any bigger. Because I'll be honest with you, this off-season at 342, I know it's a new weight and you do struggle at new weights. I felt unhealthy. It's the first time in my life that I felt that the sport was really affecting my health.
Yeah.
And that was down to training performance. That was suffering. The breathing was terrible. Obviously, I'm regular with my blood work anyway, so I'm always checking that. Blood work's like okay, could be better, but I think that goes for a lot of us. Heart scan I had showed that I had a very enlarged heart, but he said that with the size of me, that wasn't unusual. And then obviously with the PEDs on top, that's going to cause you to have an enlarged heart anyway. So that's a cause for concern. And I've seen the comments where it says, oh, you need to be 400 pounds in the off season. And it's just
ridiculous. You
really don't understand how that weight feels.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that they can compare me.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you're looking at muscle size ratio, then when you said, and I've looked at these photos as well, my shoulder was as big as these guys' heads.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at their shoulders, and my shoulders are bigger, and other body parts are bigger. So it's like, well, how big do I need to be comparable?
Yeah.
Do I need to? I'll get to a point where they say, "Oh, you're too big."
I mean, you're never going to get like a Sean Clarida kind of level roundness and thickness, because that's the sort of physique that's the muscle that suits his frame.
Yeah.
For you, no one's going to have your shoulder to waist differential when you hit that front lat spread, where it literally looks like. I mean, I can't imagine what the measurement is, but I bet it's quite a disparity between your around your shoulders and then around your waist. Yeah. You're conditioned. You're very separated. You get, you're a big guy, but you get really, really, your conditioning is as good as like a lightweight,
Yeah. I think if you compare someone like James, who's a really heavily muscled, thick, dense physique.
James Holland said, yeah.
Against someone like myself, who's never going to have that level of density, like you said, never going to have that level of muscularity because I got so much damn space to fill.
Yeah.
But I will compete with him on poses because of shape, because of aesthetics, because I've got enough muscle to hang with these pros, but then claw back some points in the shape department and aesthetics.
Yeah.
And I would say if anybody asks a question, how do you think you can make the sport healthier? It would be rewarding aesthetics and rewarding shape, rewarding condition.
Yeah, conditioning. I mean,
alongside size.
Yeah, most big guys can't get condition.
Yeah.
But you can.
But I've heard other pros like Ian Valliere say numerous times that as a pro, you have to find a balance between condition and size, which I get. I understand that. But if you have a high level of muscle with super condition, surely that's favourable over someone with a high level of muscularity or more muscle and slightly less condition. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard one to judge. Like, where's the criteria? Where's the benchmarks and guidelines? But when people are stopping trying to get their glutes in because it's going to impact the rest of their look, again, I understand where they're coming from. But there just seems to be this constant chase for size, and size is being rewarded a lot more than it perhaps should be.
2 examples of physiques that didn't have to get bigger to do better: Sean Roden in 2018 and Ramy in 2020. They actually came in lighter, probably lighter than they were in the years previous to move up. So they were like, Ramy had to get, what was he, 290 or something?
Something like that, yeah.
When he won, but he was like competing it like in the previous year when he was getting 6th and 7th. He was at 305, around that, like 15, 20 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
So he had to drop weight to basically get his physique, to move up. Sean Roden, he was very, very conditioned and, and hyper aesthetic. And that's what he had to do to go from 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th Olympia to winning it, convincingly.
Yeah.
So
and that's, I think, that's a good point as well, because if you have someone who's 5'8", they maybe have to eat 4,000 calories, 4,500 calories to grow.
God, yeah.
At 6'5", you're looking at between 8,000 and 10,000 calories a day consistently to grow. You imagine trying to maintain that. It's got to do something to your waistline. It's got to, over time.
Yeah.
And I think I've been lucky so far for it to have grown gradually but minutely at the same time. But I think, okay, what if they say, right, Jamie, you're 300 pound on stage this year, we want you at 310. What do I have to do to my body to get to 310? It is unhealthy, and does it then impact the actual look when I'm 310? Probably so.
I said this to Samson when he came over the other week, and I said, imagine if they said to you, you got to come at 290 or 300 or something, and then you get on stage and they go, like Rowley didn't when he went to Kuwait the first time, put like 30 pound on. I almost cried when I saw the look, what it did to his physique. He just looked like a big block of cheese. It ruined his physique. Imagine if you did everything it took to do what they say that you need to do to move up, and they go, Jamie's blown his physique, his waistline's gone, he's all, everything's blurry, it looks a mess,
Definitely. So I think me and Milos are under the same understanding of you, that the aesthetics and the shape, I mean, he loves physiques like that. He loves Regan, Samson, myself.
But they're doing well as well.
Yep. So he's like all in on this, and we're going to take a look that we're both happy with to the shows this year. And just see how it plays out. But what I want to do this year, which I haven't done before as a pro, is do multiple shows.
Okay.
So in my head, there's like 2 shows in Italy, there's 2 shows in Spain, there's 1 in Romania, that's 5 shows, there's 1 in France, and potentially, not sure now, but there's 1 in the UK, so that's 7 shows. And I want to do every one of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Are you okay?
Because
okay.
because the thing is that I've noticed the past 2 years, the people who have like broke through, your Raffas, Regan, Samsons, they all did multiple shows, and they didn't place 1st or 2nd in the first 3.
Yeah.
But like Samson last year, he had a few 3rds and 2nds, and then won.
Yeah.
In the 4th
but
show, I think.
If he hadn't have won, because he said to me at the time before he won the one in Prague, he said he already had Egypt and another one. Was it Romania? He had them already. He had the flights already booked.
Yep.
So he said, "Look," he says, "if I don't get a win," he says, "I'll just keep going until I get so many points that it's impossible for anyone to knock me off." He said, "I'll just keep going." He said, "There's no stop." And then obviously got the win, and then it caused kind of it was a best case scenario.
Yeah, because what happens then is you qualify for the Olympia, you do 4 shows back to back. How many more eyes have you put yourself in front of?
True.
And then how much more respect for that physique have you then got from these eyes if you're doing well?
Yeah. Your
stock rises, but you solidify your place within the IFBB, and that's what Regan did, that's what Samson did, Rafa did. That's what I want to try and emulate this year, because by doing those multiple shows, I think you just show how much you want it, how serious you are, and not only that, but how much you back yourself. Because I think this is a huge thing for most athletes now. You've got to back yourself. No one else is going to believe in you unless you believe in yourself, right?
Yeah.
And I think at times, even I've had doubts over my physique because I'm so different, because I've had so many knockbacks. You're too tall, you need to grow more, you need to do this, do that. I think it's about time that I started believing fully in my capabilities. I suppose the good thing about doing lots of shows is, I know for me, Nathan D'Asher was always very good at this, was
bringing a different look, saying, I'm going to try a different look for this show.
Yeah.
And literally he brings almost like a completely different physique.
Yeah.
So I suppose you've got the opportunity to try fuller, harder, and I'm sure with Milos, he'll try different things to bring a different style to see which one, does the best, basically.
Yeah. That's what I'm looking forward to as well, because I know he will do that. I think he says in the past with athletes, he probably goes a little bit cautious on the first show.
Yeah.
Gauges things.
Yeah.
Can do a bit more. Or maybe let's just go crazy all out fullness on this one and see what happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, there'll be a few different versions, and we'll just choose which one's the best one.
So you're looking forward to doing that many shows?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Really?
Yeah, because like I said earlier as well, I know that this is going to come to an end at some point, 2-3 years time, whatever.
Okay.
If I get certain feedback this year, maybe this is last year. Who knows? But having these experiences and memories, I want to have as many as possible, because you never know what's around the corner. One injury might end your career. So next year I could be thinking, shit, I wish I'd have done 7 shows last year.
Yeah.
And not just one.
Yeah.
So
I always say, just I like that attitude of, right, okay, we've got to go all in this year.
Yeah.
And we've got to, like you said, the thing is, you got Mutant by going out to America, by putting yourself out there and creating the opportunities. Who knows what opportunities could come?
Yeah.
And also things like with your coaching, with your social media, with your YouTube. If you. I remember Flex Lewis, again, telling me, he says, like, in the early days of, like, say, Instagram, he said he really worked hard to travel internationally to build his following. So he's got fans in every country.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, when you're selling something, you want to sell to your fans who are going to go, I want what he's selling, because I believe in him,
Definitely.
So it's going to increase everything that you're doing, not just in terms of placings and prize money.
Sure. I think when I went to Vegas in November, I'm sure my following was like in the mid 90,000s, maybe 93k.
Yeah.
By the time I'd left Vegas, I was there for 3 weeks, it was over 100k.
Wow.
And it's now at nearly 114.
Wow, that's
good. And it just shows that traveling and keeping yourself in the right eyes and just creating conversations. Seen a picture of the giant next to Fuad and all.
Sure you didn't buy some of those?
Never bought a follower.
I would lose respect if you did, Jamie.
Never.
I'm sorry.
Hey, this is why people are getting their accounts taken off them, because they bought followers in the past. Not the ones that are getting hacked.
Yeah.
But you'll see people saying my account got hacked or my account got taken off me. And sometimes, I've heard anyway, that it's because they've bought followers and Instagram can, however, see that.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
So I've done the follow for a follow thing like years ago, and you're trying to get your numbers up in the past, before I was at 10k.
Yeah.
How many ever hashtags you've bloody got on there? But apparently for Instagram now, the algorithm notices 3 to 4 relevant hashtags.
Okay.
They don't like hashtag spam.
Right, okay.
So my missus is doing like a social media course at the minute, and she's informing me of these things.
Yeah, but it changes all the time, doesn't it? Like, it's like, okay, this is what you need to do and then, like everyone jumps onto TikTok or jumps onto this, and it's like, and everything just changes. So all the rules are changing all the time.
I've heard as well, if you do TikTok and then you put it on your story on Instagram for traction, the TikTok on your Instagram will do very poorly, because they're noticing that people are using other platforms than their own, and they're trying to down-regulate the traction from other platforms to obviously keep people on their own platform. It's mental. It really is.
Yeah.
And that's what obviously sponsors may or may not understand from the athlete's point of view, but I think it's a real big job managing your social media. It's like a full-time job. So I don't know. Sometimes athletes are labelled a bit lazy, but I think it is a big thing. Especially if you're an amateur. For God's sake, if you're an amateur trying to come up now and you've got all this social media to try and concentrate on, and you've got your job, your family, and then your bodybuilding as well, I don't envy them. But I have been there myself. As I said to a client the other day, he's in the Air Force in America, and he was saying how tired he was at work. And I says, mate, I've been there. I remember in the fire service,
in the fireman,
for the last 6 weeks of prep at least, I was actually dragging my arse around. I was the worst fireman in the UK, no doubt.
Houses burning down.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, guys, I'm too tired.
I was terrible. And I just said, well, I can understand, but unfortunately in a prep, there's certain things that we just need to do.
Yeah.
With your diet, with your training. Unfortunately, I can't make you feel better a lot of the time. And I think there's a lot of people going into shows now and starting in the amateur levels and getting a coach, and just because they're seeing on Instagram and social media that it looks easy, it looks glamorous, and they realise it's not.
I think people are social media's been around long enough now where people can spot the fakers.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's just a sixth sense or whatever whether I spend that much time on it.
Yeah.
I can spot the bullshitters.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, the influencers and the ones who are kind of, you know, I can't. What's some of the telltale signs? Go on, give me. Go on. Throw them under the bus.
Well, someone's caption on a post was, and this is a professional bodybuilder.
Oh God, here we go.
His caption on the post was, "I'd rather be crying over my Lamborghini than a placing or something."
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I've met him. He's a interesting character.
I don't like to talk bad of people, but I just have different views on things.
He's living at home in his mum's basement.
I don't know about that one.
Or his leased Lamborghini. Sorry, we're just every bitch, you know.
No, it
sends out the wrong message for me.
I'm a fan of bodybuilding, but I'm a coach as well. And when I know certain people have not respected clients in terms of, I'll give you an example of myself and my coaching service.
Yeah.
I'll limit my client numbers to a level that I can manage.
Yeah.
Some people just farm these clients. And it's like they've got hundreds on their books.
Yeah. You can't how can you give individual attention to each one of those properly?
And then when you're getting their clients come to you and you're seeing how much they've like emaciated them and let them just like wither away, you can't help but feel sorry for the athlete and mad at the coach. And then the lifestyle that the coach is perceiving and publishing to have, it just makes me feel sick sometimes.
Do you think it's like, obviously now we've got things like classic and men's physique and all these other classes. Do you think it's like in bikini and stuff like that? I mean, it's easier to compete, say start training and compete as a men's physique than it is to go and do well as a heavyweight, as a bodybuilder. Do you think, because it's a quicker route, you don't have to get as big, and those that are literally from starting training, theoretically, you could be start training and in a year, 2 year, you could be on stage, compete as a men's physique. Yep. Do you think it's because they don't have that knowledge accrued over years and the time it takes to... I mean, I was training 15 years before I competed.
Yep.
I started training when I was 13. I didn't compete, and I trained like 5 days a week, ate 6 meals a day. For those 15 years, I didn't compete till I was 28.
Yeah.
You know, but it took me the amount of time just to... I mean, I could have competed before.
Yeah.
But I felt like... You know, maybe if I'd had good genetics, if I was men's physique, if I started training when I was 20, I could have been on stage by the time I was 21, 22.
Yeah.
Do you think it's to do with...
I think it's definitely gave people an opportunity to compete sooner.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because men's physique is a more attainable class.
Yeah.
But I'm not taking anything away from the guys that are really good at it and turn professional and compete, you know, at the Olympia, etc. Because they still live the lifestyle, eat the meals, do the training, put the work in is the main thing. But at the grassroots level, at the amateur level, it's definitely opened up a new door to these 1-2 year guys that have started the gym training and accrued a level of muscle which now they can compete at sooner than if they were having to do a bodybuilding class.
Yeah.
But look at me. I competed in 2010 and 2011 at amateur shows at my gym.
You competed 2010 2011? Oh, okay.
That was just like an in-house gym show that happened every year.
Yeah.
Well, actually, 2009.
Oh, because you did Classic 2012.
Yes. 2009 I did my first one. I didn't place.
Okay.
That was the in-house gym show, so bragging rights.
So you got last in your local gyms. Okay.
I didn't come last, but I didn't place. I did top 3. We called
wow.
Placing was top 3.
Well, that's a transformation.
Yeah, but...
Oh, my God.
I'll be honest with you, I think they got the judging wrong.
Jamie was robbed. I want another count of the scores, please. I want to recount. Yeah.
So 2010 and 11, I won the gym show.
Yeah.
And then 2012, I wanted to do it again to get the hat trick and win it 3 times.
Okay.
But the guy who owned the gym says, Jamie, if you do it, no one's going to compete.
Did he?
So he banned me from competing.
Okay.
And then I did the Body Power show as a classic.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is I started at 180, 190 pounds. And luckily for me, classic gave me a route into competing.
Yeah.
And then I gradually just developed my physique until 2013-14 I had off because I thought I don't want to do classic, I want to grow. I was at the limit of my weight cap. I came back in 2015, won the British title, but I came back about 260. So I was like 50 pounds heavier in 2 years.
I was there, mate. I was there because, like I said, I've said this many times. Had never even heard of you before you did that Zach Khan show.
Yeah,
in 2015. John Plummer, who was editor of Flex at the time,
Yeah.
I think I was with Flex magazine at the time. I was working for him, and he said, "Giles, it's this guy." He said he's really good. He could win the British.
Yeah.
And I said, "Who is he?" And he said, what was it, Jamie Christian?
No, it's just Jamie Johal.
Just Jamie Johal at the time. And I said, I've never heard of him. And I said, how do I not know about him? I said, the lineup's going to be pretty good this year. You got Luke Sandow and, Hollinshead was, coming back. And he's like, no, he's really, really good. And like I said, you literally came, for me, you came out of nowhere that year.
Yeah. I think it was just the look of that year was really good in terms that I didn't have the muscle mass of other people like we spoke about earlier with how your physique looks and what's best for your physique.
Yeah.
In 2015, I was nowhere near as muscular as Laurie Carr, but my condition and my aesthetics overall was better.
There we go. Yeah. There's an example of, Luke Sandow was fifth. He was a lot thicker than you.
Yeah.
He just needed to tweak his condining. But, there you beat, so as I said, you beat James Hollinshead, you beat Luke Sandow, Laurie Carr, who was the other ones? Samson. And these are all guys that pound for pound were probably a lot thicker than you.
Yeah.
But you beat them.
Yeah.
So why is that?
Well, I do think times have changed a little bit. And as I said before, size is being really pushed or has been pushed in the last few years, particularly at a pro level. I think at that time in the amateur ranks, they were seeing the benefits of being aesthetic and they like them physiques. In the pro ranks, I think we've been pushed for size by people like Ramy. There's obviously guys like Nick Walker now who are just complete freaks of nature.
How do you compete against that?
You can't. You just can't. You got to stick to your strengths.
There
like
you go.
Said.
You have to stick to your strength of aesthetic. You can't play the Nick Walker game. No. You'll never have biceps that literally are touching midway down your forearm when you hit that frontal bicep. You'll never have that. But you've got your own strength and attributes that you can, that in the past has helped you beat guys that do have that.
Yeah, that's it. It's about standing next to these guys and showing your strengths off.
Yeah. And
not looking, like I said, too small. So you've got to have a certain level of muscle to hang with them.
Yeah.
But then you haven't got to be as big as them. We'll see. It'll be an interesting year because that begs the question of who's going to be challenging for the Olympia. Who's going to be challenging Ramy for that second spot? Is Nick Walker now the only person that can compare to him because he's another freak? Or do they compare him with somebody who's taller because he's tall?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know. Ramy for a long time has been one of his own kind, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And I think people are trying to follow suit. But it's nice because I do think that people are valuing the aesthetics of the sport as well. So you got your Hunter Labrada who's tried to keep his weight down this year and keep his waist tight.
I've seen, 275, isn't it?
Don't know if you've seen James's post the other day, his front abs shot on Instagram, 296, morning shot after cardio. Waistline was great.
Was it?
Yeah, he looked really good.
Good.
Probably the best his waistline's looked for years.
Good.
So even people at the top of the game are really focusing on trying to keep things tidy.
Yeah.
And not just pushing weight. Then, as I say, you've got you freaks like Nick Walker who just seem to grow every time you see a post.
How could he be like, was he? I'm not sure he is 300 pounds, but he's only short.
Yeah.
He's like 5'6". For me, I've not seen him in the flesh. I've not seen him walking around in a t-shirt, and I can imagine it's like it's something to see someone that muscular, that short.
He looks like a Tekken character. There's a Tekken character called Jax, I think, Jax 3D or something.
Oh, is that okay?
Huge arms, and he just looks like a character that someone's made.
Nice. Right, before we go to the break, I want to ask a couple of questions. There's a couple of things I want to touch on. First of all, what's your feelings? Oh, it's hard to ask this really, but what's your feelings kind of on the deaths? Because I'll be honest, I've been so caught up. We were in Sweden the other week, and I still haven't really, because MD's asked me to write an article on Cedric McMillan.
Yeah.
And I still can't get to grips with, I'm still trying to process Sean Roden and George Peterson, and now we hear Cedric McMillan has passed at 44 years old. What's your feelings?
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier, to be fair, driving up, because I was listening to the Milos podcast with Dennis James that I was talking about with 4 people on.
Yeah.
And they were discussing what might have changed from their era to now.
Good question.
Because a lot of people, well, less people died more frequently in their kind of era than present day.
It was like, I mean, there's a couple I can think of, Andres Munzer, Mohammed Benaziz, and then it was like, that was it. It was rare.
But I think a lot of those people were, the contributing factor was mainly diuretics, like in prep.
Yeah.
When there was leaner.
Yeah.
Not obviously in off-season or the growing phase, which have been, obviously, apart from George, who was in prep as well. Mm. I don't know whether it's... A lot of them are saying dosages have increased. Now, we don't really know that because we don't know per se what they took back in the day, but they promised they took less.
But then the quality of today's stuff is probably, of what they're taking is probably underdosed.
Exactly, yeah.
So is it kind of, for me, it's relative.
Kind of can level out, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know whether you can just say, oh, it's just that.
Yeah, but then does it beg the question, is it because what they took in the past was pharmacy grade, clinically made, clinically tested?
Good point, yeah.
This present day stuff... It's going to be made anywhere. Someone's kitchen.
Yeah, no, that's not even an exaggeration.
Yep. That's possibly the thing. I think another possible thing I've thought of myself, because I know I have pushed boundaries in terms of how long someone would stay on.
Okay.
I think a big thing from that podcast was that they took regular breaks. I think the breaks have become more irregular because of the pressures to get bigger, because of the pressures to compete at a pro level. Unless you are genetically gifted in the sense that you can have time off and still grow.
What's your feelings on this? It's just popped into my head.
Yeah.
There's more, like if you remember, it used to be the Pro Ironman in February, Arnold in March, then it'd be the Night of Champions on New York Pro in May. Yeah. And there was very few shows in between. There were show seasons.
Yeah.
There was March, May, Olympia in September, post Grand Prix tour, and then after mid-October or late October, that was it until the Ironman in February.
Yeah.
Do you think now there's shows literally spaced equally almost right through the year? What do you think that's a factor?
I think probably so, because
for them staying on? That
would lead someone to stay on, yes.
Right, okay.
I think that could be a factor. The longer you stay on these things, the more likely they are to damage your health long term.
Yeah.
Even if you're getting regular blood work and you're doing what you think is necessary with the health supplements, you guarantee that staying on these long term, they're going to increase the risk of health, right? Let's look at someone like Cedric as well. So Cedric was always classed as the guy who could have been Mr. Olympia.
Yeah,
he's got all the gifts, all the tools, but never kind of really met anybody's expectations of himself. So 43-year-old Cedric perhaps saw his physique going a little bit backwards with his health conditions. Maybe, what do I need to do to compete with these younger guys again?
Right.
Do I need to take more? Do I need to stay on longer? Maybe there's things that we don't even know.
It's possible.
Because one thing I know about bodybuilding is it's very mental. And nowadays, more so than ever with the social medias and everything like that, a lot of it is in your head. And you're looking at things and you're processing it in your own mind. That will lead you to probably do other things than you perhaps know are logical or correct in terms of what you need to do to get back to your best or surpass your best or be on par with other people. The pressures are real. And I'm not saying there wasn't the pressure in the past, because the quality of the guys in the past were obviously great too.
Yeah. I think I don't know whether it's just more talked about now, but I don't remember or I'm not aware of bodybuilders doing that much blood work. I don't know whether they just did it and they just didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Because now it seems like, I mean, every bodybuilder I'm talking to now, literally, that I bring it up to, they go, well, of course I do. I get it. Yeah. Some are getting it once every 6 weeks, 3 months, twice. You know, it seems to be like a very, very integral part of being a pro bodybuilder.
Yeah.
But I just don't know whether... But the guys in the 90s, did they do that? Or did they just come off and then just, you know...
Well, funnily enough, on that podcast, they were saying that they had doctors that they actually went to see.
That's right, yeah.
The doctors would do their bloods.
Right, okay.
And they would actually prescribe them. Some of them would prescribe them gear. Oh. So they would prescribe them their cycles from the doctor.
Okay, yeah.
Which, I couldn't think of a better scenario, to be honest.
Well, yeah. They're doing that now with the TRT clinics. I mean, I've heard. I mean, you've probably heard some of the TRT. Really, is what a shot of testananthate a week.
Yeah.
But I've heard of like Deca, Anavar, Arimidex, GH. I mean, literally a full gear stack.
This is a good point.
TRT.
Yeah, this is a good point. TRT plus.
Yeah. yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Because this is a very valid point. And I think one of the problems is these days is people aren't coming off. They're on TRT plus when they're off. Whereas your Milos and your Chris Cormier may have came off and done a PCT, which is what I was taught to do when I first started. And then it was the blast and cruise. You don't want to. You don't want to let your testosterone drop, so you lose muscle, and get all the negative, depressive thoughts and things that come with such a severe hormone imbalance.
I used to crash a lot after a show. I used to crash completely because I never used to PCT properly. I was really bad at it.
Yeah. And
I tell you what, I won't say obviously not going to say the name, but I spoke to a pro recently. Last couple of months, and he didn't PCT at all.
Yeah.
He said, I just like to come off everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, no PCT?
No.
After you could have been doing a 12-week prep and then maybe several shows, so you're talking 16, 17, 18 weeks and then nothing. Yeah. Basically what I used to do, and I used to really have...
Yep.
I probably gave myself diabetes, in fairness.
Yeah. But I think that's commonplace now for people to do that. Not to PCT incorrectly in the sense that they don't PCT, they don't come off. So they might do 20 to 24 week on, full cycle to compete, and then 6, maybe 8 weeks on TRT or TRT plus, and then back on 20, 24 weeks.
What's the craziest thing you've heard that made you go, oh my God? Obviously don't mention names, but... I
know... And I don't want to...
Here we go.
I'm not going to say anything because I'll precursor the question or my answer with something that probably sounds bad.
Choose your words.
The highest dose of Tren in a contest prep of somebody that I knew was 1,200 milligrams a week.
Okay.
That's Tren.
Wow. I bet that's...
and I think this guy was on Tren for... at least 10 weeks, maybe longer.
No, 6 week max.
With an increase in dose each week. So there's people willing, as bodybuilders, it's one of those sports, I think the athletes are willing to do whatever to get towards their goals. And in the competition prep scenario, when your mindset is so
toxic,
tunnel vision towards this goal.
I've done it.
You don't care what it is. Yep, I'll do it. DMP, yeah, I'll do it. Tren, 2 grams a week. Yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
Do you remember I used to do Tren? Because I only used to take it 6 weeks out from a show.
Yeah.
And it was when it was in the multi-dose bottle, was a good one, but you didn't get the blends then.
Yeah.
You know, the Tren Master Pro. Yeah. And I used to put the 5 ml barrel, and it used to be a 2 ml of Viramone, which was obviously the thin oil.
Yeah.
And then it'd be a ml of Mast, and then I used to fill it the rest up to the hilt with Tren.
Yeah.
And it was always a flip of a coin whether you got the Tren cough.
Yeah.
And you're doing it, and you're like, okay, have I got away with it? And sometimes nothing. And then other times you just start to feel it start to choke you. Like someone's literally choking you around the throat. Yeah. And then for 15 minutes, you're over the bathtub, seeing stars, literally retching because you're coughing so hard.
It's not nice.
But that was 150 mig.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. So there's people willing to do some crazy shit.
Wow.
And again, I think if we're speaking about this now and just talking about it out loud, I think one of the potential things that are causing more deaths nowadays is the duration people are staying on and the practices when we're supposed to be coming off. Even though you're getting your blood checked, you can recover your health markers on a blood test by having 4 weeks off a full cycle and administering, let's say, 500 milligrams a test.
Yeah.
Your testosterone is going to be sky high.
Yeah.
But things like liver, kidneys, blood cells, they're the main things you concentrate on a blood test. You can get them all in green. The only thing I've noticed from myself and my athletes that I coach that I get their blood work is cholesterol will normally be out.
Mine was horrendous.
Which long term could obviously have some ramifications. So I do feel as though if people were to come off properly for 8-10 weeks at a time, cholesterol would be much better as well. And cholesterol is probably likely, with blood thickness, 2 major contributing factors towards heart health and these things that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Food for thought. But if they're an amateur out there, I think the pressure's to stay on. If you can control those urges and control those periods off cycle, that is going to be the biggest thing for your health long term.
I think one thing I'd like to see push more is guys like yourself promoting blood work.
Yep.
And not just blood work, but like I could go to the doctor and I've asked them, I was like, can you test my test?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't test for that. We just test you. And I'm like, well, can I get a full, and I always have to insist that they give me sheets, printed off. Because otherwise they just say, they ring you and go, yeah, you're all good.
Yeah.
Oh, this is high. I want to see the full thing. So what I do is I get a print off and I used to send them to Patrick Tour.
Yeah.
And he would say, okay, Giles, this needs is a bit high. This is what you need to do. This is because of that. Yeah. You need someone like you got Dave Crossland, who tells you, okay, this is what you need to do to kind of bring this back into balance, because doctors just say, well, you're taking steroids, you need to come off. You want to be able to keep doing what you're doing in terms of what, but also do it safely. And I'll tell you what really impressed. Another thing is something I noticed Zach Khan doing. He has his bodybuilding supplements, as in proteins and all those kind of things for building muscle.
Yep.
But he also has health supplements he takes. So on his Instagram, he's got like a tackle box.
Yeah.
And I said, what's that? And he said, well, that's just my health supplements.
Yep.
That's for my liver. That's for my, that's for, just health. And I was like, that's something that people don't really... Yeah. It's all about taking supplements to get big, not about to stay healthy, so you can continue to try to get big.
You should be taking these things year round. What I say to my athletes are...
I'd like more from you guys on that.
Yeah. Health sups whilst you're on cycle is damage limitation.
Yes.
And health sups while you're off cycle is recovery.
Prevention and cure, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'll get people that say, why do I need to take health supplements when I'm off gear? Well, obviously to recover, but some people's minds don't work like ours. You got to be like a idiot-proof guide and treat everyone as a beginner. And then hopefully you're not going to miss anything. One thing
I'm surprised by that actually contradicts what I think is, like I said, in the 90s, the guys would go big and heavy in the off season.
Yep.
Say 300 pounds and compete at 250, 260.
Yep.
Now you got guys almost like, say, starting at 260, competing at 260 because their body composition's changing. Like you said, you'd love to be a guy that starts at a lower body weight and then just kind of grows into the show, but it doesn't work for you personally.
No.
I'm surprised that more guys aren't healthier because they're doing this. Like say Kevin Arone would look like me at the start of a prep, and by the end he'd look like you. Do you know what I mean? It's like that's a really smart way of doing it.
Yeah.
So
I think there's less people that are just willing to do that now because they can't deal with the psychological effects of being smaller.
Yeah.
And being off. I think there's a big problem within the industry right now, from younger people right up to the older people, more experienced people in the industry, is they're just addicted to progression and addicted to steroids. And it's something I've talked about on my YouTube, and we'll cover that later. But I'm doing videos now to tell people and advise people why they should be coming off and what to expect, and that you can keep your games off cycle. But at the same time, speaking about addiction and speaking about why you would go down this rabbit hole and how far does it go. Yeah. And that is what's leading these bigger health problems, is it's the addiction to staying on.
I had literal body dysmorphia. I used to stay when I was younger, I used to stay at this girlfriend's house, and the parents used to say, there's something wrong with Giles, he's turning all the mirrors around. Yeah. in the bathroom, I'd turn all the mirrors around.
Wow.
And I was, and I had a physique, do you know what I mean? But I didn't want to look at myself. I didn't want to look at myself and things like that. And it's like, and dealing with it, I dealt with my insecurities about myself through training hard. That was my way of combating it. Yeah. But like things like not wanting to come off, like after a show, I would stay on dieting because I didn't want to lose how I looked, and I would stay on a bit of gear, and no one will know. Yeah. But it's like, but some people are really like it is like it's like a form of form of anorexia or eating disorders,
it's mental health, isn't it?
It's mental health, yeah.
Yeah, and I just think that's where the industry is right now. There's a big problem with people's mental health.
Yeah.
And the fact that people know that we have these drugs at our disposal quite easily.
Yep.
And they make you feel better, make you feel more confident. They give you purpose. They gain respect off peers. Why aren't we going to stay on them? No. Where's a group of people together coming off and saying that's okay and making you feel okay? It's all in your own minds.
Yeah.
But hopefully if more people like me and platforms like this discuss these things and say it is okay and give people the right information, then more people will take the time off. And more people will actually start the bloody damn things later on in their career and not at 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
Because that's a big problem now as well. Yeah, but it's more common.
I was 16,
now.
17, yeah.
It's a lot more common these days.
Yeah.
Guy walks into a gym. They don't say, what do you eat? How do you train? It's what do you take?
Yeah. I heard it in my gym.
Yeah.
I heard it in my gym recently. Yeah. They were saying, he says, I'm going to start. Overheard a guy saying, he says, I'm starting back training on Monday and I'm going to start some you-know-what. It's like, so you haven't trained for months and literally as soon as you step back in the gym, you're literally going to be on gear. Why not? Like I've started back training now and it was I probably should have waited a bit longer before I went back on properly, but I should have probably stayed off a little bit longer maybe. Do you know what I mean? But the thing is, I'm back on now and I feel absolutely incredible. I feel amazing.
Yeah.
I feel amazing.
I think you've got to, past a certain age, let's say past 30, your testosterone is going to be lower and declining as you age. And my personal view is that testosterone has more health benefits than negatives if you take the right amount.
I believe that.
And I think for me, long term, I will administer testosterone. And it doesn't have to be for a doctor. I think it's just like a quick route, right? To get the stuff yourself if you have a reliable
Yeah, but you know what a doctor's going to prescribe you.
Exactly.
It's stuff that you can get anyway.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
why go through the rigmarole of,
I'm not talking a gram a week either. We're talking, maybe 200 milligrams a week. And that should have you feeling that benefits from health and just mindset more than anything.
Well, with mine, it's like if I don't TRT, because I'm diabetic, my blood sugar starts to climb.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And even with insulin, it's hard to manage.
Yep.
So, like, if I go 2 or 3 weeks without doing a shot of test, my blood sugar becomes very unmanageable.
Yeah.
And if it goes high, then I have a whole different set of problems to deal with, like fogginess. Like, I could be talking to you now, and I'd be like, I've just completely forgotten what I was going to say. Yeah. I get foggy. And obviously, for someone that talks, online, it's probably one of the worst things to, anyway.
Yeah, it's not good.
Right, Jamie, I think we need to take a quick break, get a coffee, and we'll come back and we'll bring up your YouTube and your Instagram, and then you can tell us a few stories, and we'll come back in part 2.
Awesome.
Okay, guys. Okay, guys, we're back for part 2. Mr. Giant, Mr. Mutant, sir, would you like to take us through your Instagram? Because I want to see what's going on with the Giant.
Yes. Well, there's plenty going on.
Pick one.
Let's talk about that middle picture up top there with Christian Wolski. Down one.
Like 2018 August.
2018 August. That was the year I got my pro card and got beat by Christian in the overall.
I was there.
I think his name's Christian.
He was didn't he got a couple of 6th places, didn't he? He's really good.
He had a good result in the Europa last year.
That's right. Because he was Polish, really nice complete physique because he won the overall, and he's he got like, I'm sure he's had a couple of 6th places in his first pro year. But I was at the show. I had Judge Wellness.
Oh right, yeah.
So obviously I was there. So God, you look.
Yeah, that was smaller, still shredded. But I tell you what, I miss. I was just looking at when you was bringing these up before we went live. I miss being in shape.
Do you?
I do miss being in shape.
Mate, it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long. That was 2018, but I wasn't in shape. Or I was in shape not too long ago, I guess last year. But I'm ready to start prep.
You ready to start?
I was going to swear then. I'm ready.
You can swear. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm fucking ready.
He's fucking ready. Excellent. So this was 4 years ago when you were still amateur, but this was one of the last shows because you went to Italy and you turned pro. Was it the one after this?
Yes, because March was Mike the Badass beat me, the German classic guy.
Summerfield,
yeah.
He's doing really well as a classic.
He's doing really well,
Awesome.
He beat me in March.
Yeah.
And then April I went to Ireland and they amalgamated the super heavyweights and the heavyweights and I came 4th.
Yeah.
Bogus.
You've mentioned that a few times to me over the last 2 years. I can hear it in your voice.
I'm still annoyed because I didn't know that they was doing that with the classes until I actually got there.
Right.
And I was like, this is a pro qualifier show. Like, when do you ever amalgamate the super heavyweights and heavyweights? There's a distinct contrast between the look of those physiques.
Yeah.
So I came first out of the super heavyweights, obviously, because the 1, 2, 3 were all heavyweights.
Yeah.
So I was like, mother, you robbed me of another class win here.
Okay.
And once you've won your class, I think you are looked at differently. Like, you're a class winner. You're compared differently to that class winner from the heavyweights.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? There's a difference between first and fourth. You're now both first places. I think the side by side of me and the first one heavyweights would have been different than if we was all in line together.
Right.
Anyway,
okay.
Sour grapes.
But you're over it.
Sour grapes, I'm over it.
In another 5 years, you'll be completely over it.
I'm over it now. You gave me the chance to vent, to get it off my chest.
Here at Global Muscle Therapy.
Yeah. So, this was the third show of that year in August, and then the fourth show was the one in September in Italy.
Italy, yeah. It was such a relief when you got it, though, wasn't it?
I know, yeah. And that was the only show of that year, or perhaps the last however many years that I went by myself without the missus.
Aww.
So that's probably like a good luck charm.
Oh.
When I got off stage, I rang her.
Yeah.
And I'm an emotional guy. I think we all can relate, especially when we put these hormones in the mix, right?
Mm-hmm.
I came off stage, I rang her, and I'm one of these when I'm emotional, I can't speak. So I ring her and I try to say hello, but I can't speak. So she's like, "Hello, are you there?" And I'm like, she knows I'm there. She's like, "Have you competed yet?" And I was like, "Yep." So how did it go? I'm like, I just can't get it out. And she's like, "Well, you won't know till later then, so just ring me back when you can later on." I goes, "No, I won." She goes,
nice.
"Oh, so you won your class, but you're not going to find out later the pro card." Anyway, 5 minutes later, I managed to tell her, and she was like, "Oh my God, crazy, happy for me." And then she was like, "I can't believe you've done it when I'm not there."
Oh, so yes, you went there. Because obviously, I mean, who tanned you up then for that one?
It was just the in-house tanners for that show.
Yeah.
Whoever was there. I can't remember if it was Pro Tan or someone else.
I'm not sure why I asked that. I don't know why, because I'm sure I'm getting triggers of when you were sharing that apartment with, was it Cuba for Spain?
Yep.
And I just remember, I think, because I'm sure I remember you saying that you took so many coats of tan, it took so long. Well, she was tanning you up, I think. I don't know why I asked that.
I know on the Spain show, I got the tan done from the Emilio's guys there as well.
Yeah.
But I think the tanning reference may have came from the Arnold Classic last year because my colour was too light.
Right.
And I used Pro Tan, and I'm sponsored by Liquid Sunrays.
Okay.
But I'll tell you why I used Pro Tan, because Pro Tan was the organisers' tanning company that was there.
Okay.
And the British, the year before, in 2020, if you didn't use the tanning that was put on by the promoter, you couldn't then get help backstage from the tanners.
Oh, no.
And I'm thinking, as a professional athlete, I don't think that's right.
That's not right.
Anyway, this is why, for political reasons and for the help backstage at the Arnolds, I wanted to be easy and go with the Pro Tan because they could help me backstage. Anyway, they changed their bloody minds, didn't they? Everyone got help backstage, so it didn't matter what tan you had.
Okay.
And my colour was off because Liquid Sunray suits my skin perfectly. And the lady that we use through Liquid Sunrays that tans us, she knows my body, my skin, and how much I need, blah, blah, blah. It works really well. So, yes, Pro Tan.
What did he use at the British Grand Prix in 2020? Because that was a nice colour.
Liquid Sunrays.
That was Liquid Sunrays.
Yeah.
It looks very Pro Tan because it's very red.
Yeah,
I like that. Look good on you.
It's a nice dark colour, but it sits in the skin well. It doesn't sweat out. The Pro Tan I find sweats out of my skin more, so it must be something to do with the oil they're using it or whatever. It's just not the right mix for my skin, and everyone will have to work this out for themselves, that you will certain tans better than others. Yeah. I mean, I used Jan Tanner once at the Arnold Europe in 2016. Yeah. That was terrible. Was it? It ran off me like a waterfall. Oh, there's nothing worse when a tan... Yeah, it ruined my look. Yeah, because, I mean, it can ruin everything. It can ruin everything. And the thing is, if you
try a new tan on the day of the show, and it's like there's nothing. You still got to walk on stage, and and your confidence levels will drop. And right, tell me about this. A throwback to Rome.
Yes.
So obviously, this car is probably. I wouldn't envision you in a car like this, Jimmy. I
don't think I'd fit. There's no way. It's a one-seater. It's like a trike.
What is it?
A three-wheeler.
Okay, so the one wheel there, and the other wheel there, and there's a one at the front. So what did you hire this, or were you given it?
No, I just seen it on the street, and I was like, well, that would be a funny photo.
Brilliant. I want to try and find this one of you with Giant Airways.
Oh, actually, watch Giant Airways.
Okay.
See what you think. You might want to do it.
I saw this yesterday.
Can you do it with sound?
Hang on, let's put a bit of sound. Hang on. Can we put the... Oh, we can't put music on, copyright.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
No!
So basically, it's a Westlife soundtrack, Flying Without Wings.
Am I supposed to? Am I watching? I'm not sure what to make of this, Jamie. So obviously we've got Flying Without Wings.
So that's the wife doing it correctly with some poise, pizzazz, and grace, looking very nice and graceful. Yeah, that's me.
You look like it's like a boomerang where you're like diving into a swimming pool or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just me trying to be a bit more light-hearted, I guess.
There you go. Right, okay then. Do I want to see these with the lovely underpants, or do we want to see this?
Yeah,
or?
So obviously a big plug for the sponsor there.
Yeah, cool.
Mutant.
G-Gear.
This is just the current look.
Viking look there, mate. Going on.
I've got a bit of a longer beard. Yeah, I shaved that off last night.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, this is like the 3:30 waking look.
Get your back.
I think... when I put the special supplements back in, I'm going to have a nice response this year. And
back there. Yeah,
it's definitely got some extra thickness and width.
It looks to me like I just noticed that. Your back is good anyway. I mean, your front lat spread is incredible. I think it is your best pose. Yeah. But the rear biceps good because obviously your delt set it off beautifully. And also I like about your shoulders, you can see all three heads of the shoulders.
Yes. Yeah,
it's not just one big
lump of oil.
Well, yeah, basically what I was alluding to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think there's definitely been progress made.
Christ.
I was looking forward to showcasing it, and if I'm honest, with what's happened potentially with the UK show, is for people watching, and we've been alluding around this UK show now for some time in this interview. Yeah, it's unsure, isn't it, whether it's going ahead at the Arnold Classic or whether it's going to be at a separate entity or whether it's not even going to go ahead at all. So with that being said,
the news literally just hit in the last couple of days, isn't it? That with the Arnold UK and the organisers, there's a bit of controversy and things going on both sides. And at the moment, because this is coming out we're filming this May the 4th. This is coming out on May the 5th. Yep. At the moment, we still don't know what the hell is going on and what really the situation is. Yeah. So, but I imagine, because the thing is, you guys need to start your prep. You need to know. Yeah.
So what I was going to say is, with that being said, there's a show in Italy, which is the first weekend of September, which was 2 weeks before the scheduled Arnold Classic.
Okay.
So I may begin my prep at the start of June and make that my first focus.
Yeah.
Because as I said, I want to do as many shows this year as possible.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. I don't want to give you PTSD
that's Babs, bless her.
Oh, little dog.
Gorgeous.
Lauren, he's my Mayo.
Yeah.
That's because I got a ginger catalyst. I mean, he's like my baby,
It's just crazy. Again, so many memories. She loved water. She always used to chase the hose pipe. And she just wouldn't stop.
How long did you have her for?
4 years.
Oh, 4 years.
Yeah.
But they have because they have breathing problems, don't they? Yeah. I've been telling the breedings, they get flat-faced dogs.
Breathing was fine. Just one day she became paralysed from like the back end down.
Oh shit.
And it was a case of having a really expensive operation, which really wasn't the reason why we decided not to. Yeah. But the percentage of it working was really low. And then the quality of life after was really low as well. So
right. Oh,
it was kind
tough.
of, yeah.
Oh, I feel for you on that, mate. I really do. It's because pets, man, they just, for those, like Sergio just wrote there, for those of us that know, it's like you do it really, especially when you're going to make a deciation like that.
Like I say, it's still hard to talk about now, and that was over a year ago.
Yeah. I remember when it happened. I remember getting how it was conveyed, the feeling, the emotion of, and
picture of Martin Ford there.
I was about to say, I'll tell you what, Ron Partlow's a big guy.
Yeah, he is.
Is that Ashkan?
Yes, yeah, Sweden.
Oh, you know Ashkan?
Yeah, because he obviously he had the Swedish show with you guys last weekend. Yeah, he's a great guy.
That's good. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't understand how our paths did not cross before.
Yeah.
Oh, because he said he had you on his show.
I was on his show, yeah.
On his is it Tingrill or something?
Yeah, something.
Swedish podcast.
Something Swedish. IKEA podcast.
Yeah. Yes, IKEA podcast. Yeah, so and then there's Ron Partlow. He's friends with Nick Jones from Australia.
Who, Ron?
Australian body, Ron Partlow. Yeah, because I was
Right.
I wasn't partying at the Olympia with him in 2002, but that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So I remember, because he took a while to get his pro card. Then he got it, didn't he? He got his pro card.
Yeah, he got it.
Yeah, and then he's kind of.
I think he had a few injuries afterwards, and just thought, you know what, he's got what he wanted to get.
Yeah.
Let's not overcook it.
Yeah. What do you think about all this Martin Ford and this Iranian Hulk fighting thing? What do you think about all that? What's your feelings on that?
I think the actual fight was a load of balls. Did
you see when he pushed the Iranian Hulk?
Oh yeah, he would have destroyed him in the ring. I just think it was a bit of a PR stunt. But that being said, I do love Martin. He's doing very, very well for himself. And if I'm completely honest, and a lot of people have said this to me,
you want to fight him?
I want to fight Martin Ford.
I want to fight Martin Ford. I'm calling you out, bro.
I tell you this now. What would be better? We'll do a wrestling match, not just me on Martin Ford, but we'll do a three-way ladder match.
This is sounding very dodgy now.
Three-way ladder match. Me, Martin Ford, and Thor.
Oh, and Thor.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What do you reckon? Who's
we
going to
need
win?
a reinforced ring.
Who's going to win? Comment below.
Yeah. Oh wow. That'd be. Yeah. Sorry. So who's he fighting now? Because he's every week I see somebody. He's fighting somebody new. Or
I don't think he's got an opponent. I think there's whispers, and I think he's been rumored to be maybe fighting Thor.
Oh, because the boxing.
Yeah.
So why does everyone all of a sudden want to fight each other? What's this trend?
I don't know.
I want to, and then they're meeting at the thing, and then because Iranian Hulk, he's obviously he wasn't as big as I think maybe people.
No, yeah, he's quite small.
He's like a little guy.
Yeah.
Did you see him rolling the frying pan?
Yeah, it's like the cheapest frying pan ever. Where'd you get that from? B&M?
Yeah. I saw Bill Kazmaier do that, and that was a proper frying pan because I felt it. It was like a proper thick. Yeah. And he was in his. I think this was 2002 Olympia again. Yeah. And he just went and then just rolled it. Yeah. And he was using a Metrex because it was a Metrex stand when he was a Metrex. Right. And he said, I use a Metrex bar. He says, I put it over my thing. He said, to save my cuticles. Basically, so he doesn't break his nails.
No way.
Yeah, so he went, and then he handed it to people, and they were just like, holy shit.
To be fair, my wife always says how soft my hands are, and she's like, you're not a working man, are you?
So Ashkan, so hang on, how do you know Ashkan then? I know you're on his podcast.
He was basically one of the athletes. He was one of the athletes for Mutant on the stands.
Was he? Oh, yeah, okay. Cool.
Yeah, he's like one of the European representatives. So
because we did the live stream. Lauren did the female classes, and I did the male classes, and we just swapped over. And Ashkan was just basically there, great, and it was really, really fun experience. It was really good, real cool guy. I like him.
No, he's really, really cool.
He's messaged me because he wants me to reach out to some of the other athletes to see if I can connect him to get because he had Sean Ray on and but that aside, mate, look at your shoulders. Oh my God.
Yes.
I mean, that's Martin Ford's head, and then his shoulders probably like that as big as your bicep.
Yeah, maybe.
Look, that's crazy. That's absolutely.
I was going to say from that photo, I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, you should be in films," and they've always said this over the years.
I think you should.
But I have. I'm now with an agency that potentially can get me that kind of work. So I would definitely be pursuing that more so as my bodybuilding career comes to an end in a couple of years' time.
I still think we should do a fan-made Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
I'll be Batman, and of course...
Yeah, we need to go to Comic-Con one year. Next year, because it's in May, isn't it?
But do you know what I'm afraid of?
What?
If I put the Batman costume on, and I come home and I don't want to take it off. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried that it becomes like some weird, not kink.
Maybe you'll come the vigilante.
Like I'm afraid I might become.
Yeah.
You know,
I could see that in the Qashqai.
Qashqai, yeah. It's actually a Nissan Juke.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, have you seen the front of it?
No.
I skidded on some snow.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
I think I remember you saying
that's why I pulled it ahead because I don't like anyone to see the front of it. Yeah.
No
it was,
way.
and it wasn't some sort of. It was just like literally 10 miles an hour skid douche right into the back of someone. I need to get it fixed really. Definitely. Right. Okay. Come on. Show us something interesting. Pick out something, please.
That was a picture of me.
Mr. Giant, sir.
Old school look, a bit higher. That was me in.
That one.
Oh, wow. That was when I was sponsored by Energy Fuel from Nottingham.
This was in January.
Yeah, 10 years ago, at least.
Wow. Who were you with? Sorry, who were you with?
I was sponsored by Energy Fuel there. A company from Nottingham.
Yeah, from Nottingham.
Yeah, they used to sponsor
Adrian
and Val Brown.
Yeah, lovely people.
Yeah.
Lovely people. Yeah, yeah. They're one of my best customers when I used to work at a supplement company.
Yeah, they're very good.
Yeah, look at you looking all like boy band.
I know, young, fresh, shoulder was smaller.
Do you know what though? Your shoulders are still massive there.
Yeah.
And that what's that, like 10, how many years ago now, sorry?
Yeah, that was like 2012-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, let's go. Let's
That was me.
I like just looking at stuff. I like just looking at it.
That was me trying to impersonate the Louis Ferrigno, because I put on the next slide the Louis picture with the chap you mentioned earlier.
This is what I was talking about. This was the 1993 Olympia. This was when Lou Ferrigno, the second year he did the comeback in 93, and he got 10th place. And Flavio, I think Flavio was 13th. So he only beaten by a couple of places. This guy was 4'11".
Yeah.
He was good though, conditioning.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
My God. So this is what I would love to see you recreate with Sean Clarida.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
That'd be very cool.
I'd like that.
That'd be very cool. Oh, there's Lee.
Yeah, that's Swino, the training partner.
Wow. When was this?
That was 2015. Yeah, that was when we kind of got together after the British finals. That's when we first started training together.
Lee was awesome. I remember when he was a heavyweight. He was incredible. I've probably photographed him.
Yeah, he got in crazy shape. But he basically was from Long Eaton, which is like my hometown as well. But we didn't know each other before this.
Yeah.
And at that time, he was prepped by Neil Cranwell, who's competed many times.
Yeah, yeah.
And Neil basically says, I think to kind of level up to that next level from the judges' feedback for next year, you need to start hammering your legs. Go and train with somebody.
Really?
Like Jamie, he's in your area because me and Neil know each other through NRG.
Yeah.
And that's it. We got training together and
that's how.
Ever since.
One question though.
Yep.
Why did this picture end up on a very dodgy sounding Instagram account?
I don't know. I said to Swinner, I says,
okay,
I've seen this picture today.
You can't see it on that screen, can you?
No.
Okay. Hang on. Should I squeeze it in? Oh no.
You can click on the Instagram photo, and I think
if you look, hang on, I'm going to turn the laptop.
It's one of 3 photos.
Guys showing off their muscles.
Yeah. That's one of 3 photos, and this was like the cleanest photo.
How has your photo ended up on this Instagram? Be honest with me, Jamie.
I've not got a clue, but I tell you what, the amount of tags I get from Muscle Worship Instagram pages.
Oh my God.
I think I've got a lot of male fans. Let's put it that way.
I need you to tell me some of these messages in the interest of total transparency for the MD Glow Muscle viewers.
Well, after the British...
Strangest request.
Strangest request.
Hang on, I was going to sip some green tea.
I've been asked many times if I could wrestle men.
Okay.
If I can bear hug them and squeeze them tightly.
Was that Martin Ford messaging you?
No, it's Eddie Hall.
Oh my God. Okay, who's this from? Eddie Hall, world's strongest man. I want to wrestle you, big boy.
I'm only joking. Yeah, I've had plenty of wrestling.
Obviously joking.
Plenty of wrestling requests. I think somebody asked me once if I would piss on their feet. Would you please kindly, sir, piss on my feet?
Did you give a price or
no?
Didn't quote it.
The only time I've gave a price is when somebody asked if they could buy my British trunks on 2020 when there's a British flag.
Right.
And I thought, I'm not getting rid of these unless someone's going to pay a decent amount.
Yeah.
So I said, $5,000. You can have my trunks. I've not washed them because that's what the speculation is.
Well, he does. No, you need the scratch and sniff test.
You've got to stipulate that they're worn, unwashed.
Yes. Yeah, you've got to be good on your word. You can't, you don't want to get Trade Description Act on you.
Skid marks and whatnot.
It's tan.
$5,000. No one even came close. I don't think.
What did they offer you?
Like £100.
Oh, come on.
I was like,
they're probably £100 to buy.
Yeah, you're not getting. And I mean, I have a trunk sponsor.
£100 a sniff.
Iron Monkey. So if you do need trunks, you know where to go. I don't have to pay for them, but even still,
what you could do, get Iron Monkey. Just say, look, I'm getting quite a few requests here.
Yeah.
Get some tan on your ass, and on your and maybe wear 10 pairs over a week or something.
Yeah.
And then sell them for £100 a piece.
Oh dear.
And you've just paid for your chicken for the month.
Yeah. That could be a new thing. I could be into the sale of soiled underwear post.
I think I need to be your manager.
That could have been a lockdown thing, couldn't it? You know, when people are struggling a little bit, you need to be an entrepreneur. soiled underpants.
Jamie the Giant OnlyFans, and it's just pictures of your soiled trunks.
Jamie the Giant skid mark.
Oh, do you know what? Isn't it great when you get two great minds coming together like this? The genius that can come from.
We'll discuss this in more depth later.
Yeah. Right, let's have a couple more, and then we'll go to your Instagram. Oh, Chris Bailey shots. I can tell straight away.
Yeah.
Isn't he awesome?
He's great.
When was this? What day after the show was this?
This was the Tuesday after the show at the Arnold. So I think the Arnold was on
UK.
The Saturday, yeah. So this was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days after.
Stick a cape on that. I mean, if that's not how Superman should look, I don't know. Because the thing was with Christopher Reeve, the original Superman, he was about 6'5", wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was really tall.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not keen on Ben Affleck as Batman, but he's about 6'4", apparently.
Yeah. I think Batman needs to be tall. Superhuman people should be tall.
Sort of my height.
How tall are you, Jazz?
6 foot.
Yeah, at least 6 foot.
6'1" in Lawrence Heels.
Say no more.
Yeah. Yeah, nice shots. This was also a couple of days after the.
Yeah.
You look very. Have you dyed your beard there?
No, it's like I said. My wife said today I had a shave and I've got a blonde beard.
Well, it's not blonde there, mate. It's only a couple of years ago.
I know.
What's going on?
Maybe I was taking. I'll tell you what. Actually, I was taking something then, which I was going into the show, and my missus was like, "You're getting darker. Like, what are you taking?" And I'm going through all the tablets I'm taking.
Yeah, because your hair doesn't
Everything
look that
else,
black here, but it looks pitch black there.
I cannot describe or put my finger on why I'm getting more tanned. I'm thinking, is it my liver? Have I got jaundice?
Yes.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm asking a friend of mine if he sold me something that is melanotan instead of growth.
Oh no,
right?
the little.
I'm going to be honest here.
Yeah. It's happened. I've
pinpointed it to the possibility that my growth hormone was melanotan.
Oh no, they've mixed them up.
And he was like, "No, mate, definitely not, 100%." So I continue to take this thing.
Yeah, but with melanotan.
Yeah.
You get a boner.
Yeah, and you go like red hot sometimes and red in the face, right?
It does get red hot, yes.
Like a tomato. But I took this once.
And you feel like throwing up.
I went red hot and I was like, this is definitely melanotan.
Yeah.
But then after my friend said it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was like,
Dodgy
no,
Dave.
It's definitely not that. So I started taking other things out. And I think I'd not taken it for a week. And I then took another dose of it. I went red raw again. I was like, that's it. It's this.
Yeah.
This is melanotan. So I went back to him after the show. And I says, there's definitely melanotan in this growth you've got here.
Yeah, but it's not melanotan in the growth. It is melanotan.
Yeah, and he was like, mate, I've been onto the lab and they've effed up. It is melanotan. So I'm taking melanotan for the Arnold.
Oh no! So imagine why you look with a bit of GH on top.
I know, yeah, it would have been looking even better. So
Was it the little white boxes with the yellow lids?
It was because
they're very similar, aren't they?
It was a little vial.
Yeah. Okay.
So that may explain the darkness of the beards.
So the mystery of why you went brunette, with a black beard, is this is where I want to get. Oh, hang on, we're going to come to. Let's go straight to it. This is the picture. This is the picture I wanted to talk. Where I said, like, you literally look like CGI. So we have. Okay, on the far right we have Hunter Labrada, who's 275. Yeah, we've got Ben Chow there, who's a big dude. He's doing really well for himself, coaching people. Yeah. So there's Ron Partlow, Justin Shire. Yep. I don't know this guy.
That's Paul. That's Fuad's best friend.
Okay.
He's actually an IFBB judge.
Oh, okay. I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me just
he's a nice guy.
Cool. I don't know who this guy is.
Who is that?
It's the boss.
Who is that?
Milos. Do you know what? I was actually going to message Milos yesterday. I was driving back from Wales. Yeah. And I just felt some spontaneous need to message Milos to tell him just how appreciated he is in the industry. Because he's someone that was a very successful pro, very well known. And he's such an integral part of the industry now where he's giving so much. And not just as a coach, because obviously he makes a living from it, but he's doing so much for the industry by way of yourself, Samson, all the athletes he preps. Yeah. And, he does a lot of media work and he kind of he makes such a valuable contribution. Yeah. And I wanted to send it, but I couldn't think of it word it in my head without sounding like I was kissing his ass, and like I was waiting for him to say, "What do you want, Giles?" No. But I really did, because I just think sometimes people like Milos, I never want to see them be taken for granted.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I definitely do, and I think the reason why he's so good is because he genuinely loves the sport.
Yeah.
And you can see that. I mean, if you saw his Instagram story from the Arnolds, he was racing Regan and Joris up and down the street on them scooters.
Yeah.
He just loves it. He's like a big kid.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he understands that, obviously, he's past his time on stage, but he's almost reliving his time on stage with his athletes.
He is. But I think the thing that shines through, which I can really relate to personally, which I can really connect with him on, his... all these things aside, first and foremost, he's still such a huge fan. And like you'll see him backstage or at these shows, and he'll ask for pictures with the female competitors as well, like the top. He'll be like, "Oh, I follow you, you're great," like figure girls and physique and bodybuilding. And it's like he really, really... And it's nice to see people like... Because I've seen like... there was a European girl, and she was like... She just saw Milos and she was like, "Oh my God," and he goes, "Can I have a picture with you?" Yeah. And she was so like, and Milos said, "I can have a picture with her." Yeah. And she was like, "You want a picture of me?" It was really like that mutual kind of, I liked seeing stuff like that. Yeah. And then there's Fuad, who's still a tank. And then, oh my God, what is that?
Have you seen Fuad's shoes?
No.
Anything off of his shoes?
Has he got... He's standing on his tiptoes. I didn't notice that before.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm trying to just be... he's not even coming up to your ear level there.
No. So it's good to meet people like that, because they always like, fuck, you are so much bigger in person.
That looks... I'll be honest, that does look like you photoshopped it.
Well, Milos took it and he posted it, so...
He did.
He told me he didn't Photoshop it.
That's just ridiculous. I mean, look at the width of your arms.
Yeah.
I mean, my God. And that's whilst travelling and... Yeah.
So I actually came back from the Arnold about £10 lighter.
Jeez.
Because maintaining your food and walking activity, different country travelling, it's always makes me lose weight.
Do you enjoy Columbus?
I loved it, yeah. It's quite a quiet place, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't. Really, on the Sunday, everyone's running to the airport.
Yeah, not a great deal going off, and I stayed till the Monday, which was a mistake. I should have gone on Sunday.
Sunday morning, you literally it's just taxis, just in droves going to the. So they are in the front of the famous Arnold statue. Yes. I was there when they unveiled that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Arnold was. No, I'm what we're talking about. No, I saw it on Instagram. What am I talking about? Well, I'm getting real life mixed up with Instagram. No, because I saw some... Hang on a minute, was I? No, because I think I saw a video of some guys and they were heckling Arnold. And I just thought, how disrespectful.
Yeah.
They were going on about his ex-wife. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, why isn't anyone turning around and slapping them?
No way.
Like, you can't diss Arnold in Columbus. It's like it's Chattanooga. Jesus. Yeah. Oh, wow. There's a nice little slideshow there. See, this was why it was important for you to be out there.
Yeah. Being around these people is just what it's about.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to look at two more, and then what we'll do is we'll go to... This is the one. This is one of the ones I wanted to see. That's crazy, isn't it?
You just can't imagine what greatness is under that coat and hoodie, because, oh my God. Like when he did that open show in Reno and stood next to Regan and other people, he just looked like a freak.
As an open guy, though, a big open guy.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your feelings of these 212 guys stepping over and just like, I mean, Angel Calderon did it at the Big Man Weekend. He beat Amir and all these other guys. What's your feelings of these 212 guys like that? I mean, thing is, he's not like a sort of average 212. Most average 212 guys are 5'5", 5'6", 5'7". He's like, what, 5'2"?
Yeah, he's like, 175 pounds as well?
174 when he won he was 177th Olympia. So what's your feelings on these guys coming over and just basically taking out these 250 guys like Regan, 270 guys like Sergio? What's your feelings?
I'm all for it. But at the same time, I think I would feel like a little bit bummed out. A little bit embarrassed. But I wouldn't be embarrassed about getting beat by Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
So I think if it was like maybe a 3 to 5 guy in the 212, coming across and dominating an open show. You shouldn't really be letting that happen.
Yeah.
But
he's like,
he's got a different set of rules.
Very true. What was I going to say?
It's like Lunsford, If Lunsford was to go to an open show, you wouldn't say that he couldn't win a show easily.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether he's doing the open this year or not.
Lunsford, yeah. I mean, I didn't think Lunsford could look like that as a 212. I thought he'd have to be an open to look that good.
Yeah.
But yeah. So.
But Clarida is a very, very nice human being as well. He's
a good guy.
Props, to the way he handles himself off the stage. He's
he's a good guy.
Real cool.
He's a good guy. He's another one I like. I like his social media.
Yeah.
This picture I took at your gym on my phone.
You did. That's like a Dorian Yates-esque width.
Yeah, I took that on my iPhone. Yeah. And I didn't stretch it out, or it's just I was just walking behind him going, holy shit, I've got to get a shot of this. So I was going to say something about, what was I going to say about this? Something, I forgot now. What was it? Nope, completely gone. Right, okay then, we're going to go on to, you want to see one more, or anything you want to show? Anything of interest on your Instagram you'd like to just discuss, or anything to bring up, or?
There's a comparison there, Giles. You were at that show up a bit on the left.
This one?
Just a few more. This one up here.
Wow.
So that was from the Body Power in 2012.
In Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Pouting like a duck.
I was taking the piss out of Samson because in one of his guest posing poster pictures, he's doing that, and he was like, he said, it was just like a instant momentary thing. I said, you're giving it the blue steel, mate. You're giving it the blue steel. Look at that, 2012.
Yeah, but you can see there where the muscle's been added, just a bit everywhere.
No shit. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's at Pout on point. There you go.
But they were good times.
Yeah.
Very good.
So, I mean, what's the difference in body weight there?
So that was around 100 pounds. That would be like 200 pounds to 300 pounds.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I liked your Puerto Rico look. I thought it was good.
I like that look, to be fair.
Yeah, I thought it was a good look.
I just got Yamamoto'd.
Yes. Yeah. Right, okay, I'm going to go to your YouTube.
Right.
Also, I mean, it's triggered a memory. We spoke about this slightly before we started filming. Are you eating your hat about Robert Pattinson being a great Batman, or what?
Oh, man, do you know what? That is the best Batman I've ever seen.
Whoa. So you've gone from dissing Robert Pattinson, saying, I mean, so what was your feelings before you saw it?
Well, I just thought he's a bit of a big girl, isn't he? He's done this
fight and talk
vampire.
I'm gonna
Twilight.
I'm gonna Martin Ford Iranian Hulk,
Wears more makeup than my wife. I just thought Batman's an iconic figure. He's very dominant in the world, right?
Yeah.
Stature.
More than Superman.
Strength.
More than Superman.
Probably not as more than Superman,
no!
But as a mortal, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll give him that. I just couldn't imagine this big girl's blouse, Robert Pattinson, playing a good Batman.
I'm going to have to ask you to stop saying that, Jamie.
But you assured me that he played a very good role.
He did.
I watched the film, and in the first half an hour, I was like, man, Giles is right.
See?
He's killed it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad they've greenlit the second one as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they're doing a spin-off TV series of Arkham, and they're doing a spin-off of The Penguin.
Wow.
What did you think of Colin Farrell?
What part did he play?
Oh, come on. Penguin.
Was he Penguin?
That's Colin Farrell with prosthetics on.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's incredible.
He played a great part.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, shit, I'm just going to say yes and pretend that.
No,
that's crazy.
Yeah, really. Like I've saw a video on Instagram where they put the makeup. I mean, it's flawless. But that's a good actor, isn't it?
That's crazy.
What did you think of the Batmobile?
The Batmobile was good.
Do you like it when it started up?
Yeah.
I mean, I won't say what I was doing in the cinema, but if the lights had come on, I probably would have been thrown out.
Well, I can only imagine. Poor Lauren.
Yeah. Were you there? Oh, you were there. Yeah, of course. So yeah.
You just so infixed with the film in the car.
It's Batman, though, isn't it? Come on, it's Batman.
It was great. It was a very, very good film.
Yeah, good. I'm glad that you've had enough humility to admit your error.
I can admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, have you seen Lighthouse and Tenet? That shows you, and Lost City of Z. That'll tell you what a good actor Robert Pattinson is.
Really?
But he could do with a bit of beefing up for the second one.
That's what I thought.
Get him on some TRT.
Yeah.
Plus, TRT Plus.
TRT Plus. It's not uncommon these days with actors.
Yeah, he did a lot of fight training for that, though.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of fight training. Right, show me a video. Come on then.
Right. Okay.
And then we'll show a couple of videos, and then we'll have another quick break, and then we'll come back to your shout outs, and then we'll wrap up, and then I'll let you go.
Well,
which is your favourite one? You do some good videos, didn't he? Loads of videos.
Oh God, I think the hardest leg day of my life with Milos was
that one.
Ridiculous, yeah.
That one.
Oh.
He's horrible, isn't he?
Is it possible to make £500 a day trading the currency markets?
No, it's not. It's bollocks. Yeah. I hate these YouTube ads.
Oh, I do.
Skip trial. There we go. Oh, hang on. Let's turn off the sound. So let's go to full screen. There you go. Look a bit like Rolly there, pulling your Rolly faces.
Oh, yeah.
Rolly
Scrunching
faces.
up. That's why I've got all the wrinkles in my head.
Yay!
There you go.
This is probably the only time I'm going to speak during the session. We're at Powerhouse Gym in Las Vegas.
How happy
We're
Milos
very
is.
excited because we've been trying to get me here for the 3 weeks I've been here.
Yes, this was at Powerhouse where...
giant sets.
Yeah, the specific setup here that I'm looking forward to test here. I mean, it's.
I'm looking forward to. He's a bit sadistic, isn't he?
Very sadistic.
Very.
I think he actually thinks about these workouts the night before and then dreams of the torture that's about to commence.
But the thing is, this is how he trained, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I've heard. I mean, I've been told it. Like, this is exactly how he trained when he was a pro. So
Yeah.
it's not like he's
No.
just throwing everything at you just to see what he can,
That's it.
see how much he can take.
I think after doing it as well, if you've got the ability to do this, which is quite hard in a normal gym environment with, taking up multiple pieces of machines at a time.
Yeah.
But if you have the ability to do this style of training, giant sets, I think it can be very rewarding, especially in a competition prep, because I think your output would be that high, you'd get in shape super quick.
Yeah.
People shy away from it because it's fucking hard.
Mate, when I
very
filmed that
hard.
chest routine,
Yeah.
I think you did a giant set. Was it 9 exercises?
Yeah, something like that.
And how long was a set? 7, 8, 9 minutes?
The sets are like 7 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then you did two of those. And I was like, I mean, literally my shoulders were aching just because it was a continuous shot.
Yeah, yeah.
I was literally following you from machine to machine. I wasn't stopping and starting because I wanted to get the whole thing in.
Yeah.
And I filmed it and you went, oh, I'm going to do it again. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, because obviously the second one might be better, So I filmed that as well.
And then it's after you've done your warm-ups and your compound exercises to start the session off.
Yeah.
You go into these giant sets at the end.
I was impressed for a guy your size how aerobically fit you were because you were doing high reps. I mean, to be able to, the other exercises aside, because you were doing like different rep schemes.
Yeah.
But to then go and do something like that, it's very aerobically demanding.
I think that's why I've struggled breathing this year so much. Not because I'm perhaps worse off than I have been in the past, but because the training's so much harder and taxing.
Yeah.
Aerobically. I've perhaps discounted how I trained in the past, and because I felt better, but I was training completely differently.
Yeah.
Not kind of associate the two together, which is daft, really.
Right. What should we go to? Do you want to scratch? Give me a timeline to scroll to. I'm at 4 minutes now. Let's go to 4 minutes.
It's just there's a lot of pain in here, so
because you can't see the scrubbing bar at the end. It's showing on the laptop and not on the screen.
This is warming up. How long's the video?
53 minutes.
Right. Let's go right in the middle. 30 minutes.
Go on then. Right. 20. Let's go bang on 30 minutes. Here, just under 30.
Oh, look at me sweating there. Roll back 5 minutes.
Bit of an Elvis haircut going on there, mate.
Yeah, I've got to the point where I'm that
like
that
Wolverine.
tired. Yeah.
It's like Wolverine.
I'm that smashed. I've just brushed my hair back.
Forget Superman. You'd be a great Wolverine.
Yeah, could be.
I could see it.
Off-season Wolverine.
Yeah, look. That's Wolverine.
Diet face. Superman.
Yeah. Wolverine versus Superman. Both
look at the
parts played
sweat.
by you.
Sweat pouring off me.
When
This
was
is in an air-conditioned gym as well.
So when was this?
This was in November.
Mate, how much bigger are you now?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So when I seen
that doesn't even look like this.
yeah, when I seen
That's incredible.
Milos 2-3 months later, he was like, man, he's like a different person.
That is phenomenal. Like that. This looks like a couple of years ago.
Yeah. I think if I
That's incredible.
can try and put my finger on what happened after the British last year, I think I was that bummed out really with how the year had gone because I had high expectations for last year.
Yeah.
and it just didn't go to plan because of all the stresses that were involved as well. That was the end result of all the stress, and it's definitely a lesser physique to what it should have been.
Right, okay. So you were pissed off that the year hadn't gone, so you just went all out.
Yeah, I kind of just probably lost my way with the diet a little bit. But even if the diet is perfect, the training is perfect.
Yeah.
One thing that people should realise that stress in our sport is the biggest killer of your physique. So if someone's stressed in a prep, you won't burn the body fat, you won't get in shape. Someone's stressed in the off season, you're not going to grow the tissue. Your body's not going to look how it should look. So if anyone was to want to compete or want to have a good off season, I would say the first thing they've got to get in check is the level of stress in their life. If you can combat stress or manage stress well, you're going to do well at it. That's why some of the people in the sport that are the biggest, the best people are the ones that are just the most chilled out
Guys like Rulli. Yeah, just chilled. He's always just so laid back. And
this is not racist. I just want to see if you think the same. But some of the most laid back people I know, and it must be a characteristic or trait for their race, are black people.
Yeah, possibly. I'm trying to think. I'd have to think about the athletes and. Yeah.
I just think they got whatever it is within them, they can just quite easily chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
And they have a very relaxed view towards life, whatever it is. Very low stress. I've known loads of black people over the years. Yeah. And they just, a lot of them are the same. They're fucking chilled.
Yeah.
And I think being able to be relaxed and chilled.
That is ridiculous. How much bigger you are now.
Yeah.
I can't get over that.
I mean,
I cannot get that. That looks like when you. Honestly, that's shocking. If you'd have told me that was 5 years ago, I'd be like, I can't believe that.
Let's put this into perspective as well, though, a little bit, because this is a leg workout, giant sets. I think my entire bodied volume of blood was in my legs.
No. I mean, look at the dimensions of your shoulder. Yeah. I mean, if you go back to that picture, if I go back to your Instagram and bring up the picture, that looks. I mean, there's so much more tissue now. Yeah. What were you doing there? Just squats.
Yeah, this is only a plate aside, but this is like tempo work.
2 plates. What do you mean tempo work?
2 plates aside. So Milos is all about like making things harder.
Yeah.
So rather than power out 4 plates aside, let's do 2 plates aside, but with nice, slow form, deep reps.
Pushing off your heels there as well. I noticed your toes coming up.
Yeah. And on the hack squat, for example, instead of pushing through the whole foot, he will get you to push through your toes, not your heels. The toes, to keep it on the quads. That with 3 plates aside makes you laugh.
Okay, because I remember I photographed in 1997, Grant Thomas, Welsh bodybuilder, and he was known for his crazy leg development. I mean, freaky legs. Yeah. And I remember because he was doing 5 plates aside on the leg press, a plate and a half aside on the hack squat. It was about 50 pounds on the leg extension. Yeah. 1 plate on the standing single leg curl. Yeah. But I was watching, like when he was doing it, his toes were coming up and he was pushing off his heels. I said, why'd you do that? And he says, well, it puts it all onto the quads. And he says, if you notice, my negatives is really controlled as well. And he said, I'm trying to make the weight feel as heavy as possible. And I said, because I said, like, with your quads, I was expecting huge amounts of weight. And he says, no, he said, I used to train. I used to do 600-700 pound squats. He says, but now to like really get the mind muscle connection, I have to. Yeah, because I noticed his feet were his toes were coming off the plate. Yeah. The hack squat and the leg press.
I think everybody's got to find.
You're having fun there.
Oh god,
brilliant! Look at that.
Everyone's got to find their way. Yeah. What feels good for one person won't feel good for the next.
Right.
Each body's made up differently.
Yeah. What would you say 2 of the most significant things that you've learned from training with Milos? What's the 2 things that you would take away since you started working with him?
Intensity.
Okay, yeah.
And the ability to train through pain.
Right. How do you do that?
It's just mental. You got to have the mental ability. In bodybuilding, you got to have I would say, bigger emphasis on the mental capacity to push yourself than physical. I think some of the most physically gifted athletes in the sport can be overtaken by the more so mental ability athletes.
Yeah.
Or the ones with a greater mental capacity.
Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah. If you got both as well, fucking hell, that's game over.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like hard work and talent when the two come together, and they're mentally strong. I mean, really look at Dorian. I mean, Flex Wheeler, Kevin Navrone, Sean. Not arguably, these were guys with better genetics.
Yeah.
But Dorian just had that mental. What he needed to. What was it like training in the gyms in America?
It was very good. Atmosphere was great. I mean, particularly the Dragon's Lair Flexors gym. That's an atmosphere for bodybuilders.
Right.
You're surrounded by bodybuilders. When you have a bodybuilder that owns the gym, runs the gym, designs the gym, that's a gym for you.
Yeah.
That was a great thing there.
Do you miss? Obviously your gym. It's your gym. You've shut it. It's just private.
Yep.
Do you miss having the atmosphere of having people in a gym when you're training? Or
not? It's a bit of both, because what you have to obviously appreciate is that was my gym. I was the business owner. I was running it. So I'm the person that everyone's coming to see and ask the questions, and the pressure's on me to make sure it's running and staff are sorted, etc., etc. So there's a lot of stress with that gym being open and me training there. I think if I was training somewhere, let's say like an Ultraflex, you've got one in Leeds quite close.
Yes.
And I train at the one in Rotherham, run by Cuba quite often.
Yeah.
Being in that environment is very uplifting sometimes. And I've not got all the stress of bloody running the thing. So I think in the right gym with the right atmosphere would be great.
I just think like when you're doing that giant set for chests, that'd be impossible.
Exactly, yeah.
It would be literally impossible to do, and you become very unpopular.
Oh yeah.
Training in a gym that wasn't yours.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, guys, I'm just going to take these 10 machines up now, and they're mine for the next half an hour.
You can't do it.
Yeah, you'd be getting into fights.
Yeah. I think this is the hack squat on the toes.
Cool. He's really struggling now. Yeah. You're really struggling. Let's put a bit of sound. I want to hear some pain.
I just said I can't do it, and he was like,
yeah, look.
Come on, Jamie, more pain, more pain.
Good.
Wow. Wolverine's struggling there, minds.
Yeah. Look at the face. Oh my God, the grimace.
Yeah, we've got added sound effects from Jamie there.
The trouble is with Vegas, the air was so dry.
Yeah.
Couldn't breathe.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Bit of British swearing there, good.
Yeah.
I like it.
I don't think I've sweated so much since as well.
Thing is, does it, I mean, I know he's trying to make it hard, but like when you're doing that with 2 plates, do you think, I don't want, is it?
I think my ego's been dropped a lot over the years, I've not fussed about poundages and weights. I understand that everybody will need a different level of weight and load to cause an effective response towards growing new muscle and damaging muscle.
Yeah.
Again, like you said with the guy with the legs, crazy legs and the light weights.
I couldn't believe it. Like 5 plate aside a leg press, and it wasn't like he wasn't struggling with it, but you could see the way he was lifting it was making it harder. Yeah. Like you said, Milos makes it harder. That's what this guy was doing.
Have you seen the socks?
I like it. Yeah, cool.
What you have to understand is
that's to Milos.
Yeah, it was, and I bought him a pair of the same socks and gave him them into the plastic. I was like, mate, have these socks. Every time you train legs, put them on.
Brilliant.
Right. What people have to understand is the better you can connect with that muscle through your mind. Yeah. You don't need as much weight. And often what happens is if you chase weight, you lose the connection with the muscle. Yeah. It doesn't matter how much weight you've got on.
Have you ever noticed sometimes when you're doing a warm-up, you get more of a feel doing the warm-up, and then you do your working set and you think, I can't feel it now. I'm moving it, but I'm not feeling it.
Exactly. And that's because you're just concentrating on the weights. Now it's heavy. Now the mind's working differently. We just got to get this weight up from A to B.
I was doing some flies and I was doing my warm-up set and I was doing them really slow because I just wanted, my shoulder was hurting a bit. And I just slowed it right down and I was like, hang on a minute. I can actually feel the fibers twitching. You know? So I cannot get over the difference in size that you've put on. Honestly, what Milos has achieved with you and Samson in the last kind of 6 months, I can't recall thinking of anyone that's been more seen any more dramatic than that. I mean, that is really drastic.
I'm excited for prep.
Yeah,
because I know in prep my mindset is like just absolutely focused, tunnel vision.
Yeah,
and that is something I can emulate to a degree in the off season, but nowhere close. So prep's going to be fun. So, I mean, obviously training these different styles of ways, and I mean, do you feel like less aches and pains, and do you feel like I mean, people who train heavy and hard, guys your size, shifting a lot of weight, do you have less niggles and joint pain and tendon pain, or do you? I'll tell you a funny story. The most pain I've felt training like this, is since I've been off a full cycle of gear. Okay. Because I think that lubricates the joints and tendons a little bit as well. How are you administering it? Sorry. Through like an oil pump. Yeah. Gas station.
Yeah.
Dig.
Yeah.
Bit of WD-40 with a red straw.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. On the joints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a side thing in itself. But most certainly, the less poundages on your joints is going to have less of an effect. And getting older, long term. Mate, stop saying older. You're 36. I've only got a couple of years left. Older in the sport. I'm 36. Now mate, I'm 46 in a few weeks. Yeah. I know you don't believe that. I don't believe it. You're like 45, 39 tops, right? We'll go with that. Yeah, we'll go with that. I'll be honest with you, Giles. Tell Lauren. I look at some of these guys that push heavy weights, and there's a bit of me that worries for them, because not only is it more risk of serious injury, but what we do requires us to be healthy and prolong our career as long as possible. Yeah. So I like worry about the longevity, and one injury under their poundages that they're using could be career over. I just think like say that guy I was telling you, that Grant Thomas, he said, when I started training, when I built my foundation, I did train, I used to train like heavy basic, but now he said I needed a change in stimulus to kind of take my physique to the next level. And the thing is, it gets to a point like, when you're younger, you're continually getting stronger on your compounds and everything. And then it kind of plateaus off, and then you either have to do more forced reps or worse form or more weight. At what point does it get to the point where it is actually, okay, this is not just not building me muscle, but it's actually, things are going to start snapping soon. Yeah. So, but like, I literally don't think you could have got your physique from, say, this to now this, and what you've been showing in these pictures from the Arnold stuff. I don't think you could have done that if it had just been, right, okay, then you're going to have to try and get up to 600-pound squat and 500-pound bench because you're only benching 400. And, I just don't think you could. I think you would have had an injury. Yeah, and I think that as well. I think you come to a point now where you're managing injuries and you're managing your training around niggles. Yeah. And you just can't do it. And you don't want to be, when you're older, like in 60s and 70s, you don't want to be a bloody cripple. You want to be able to be arthritis, fitter and more active after you stop bodybuilding, not less. Yeah. Look at Lee Labrada. Yeah. Perfect example. I think that's how Hunter will probably end up, because he's got his dad as an example. Who wouldn't want to look like Lee Labrada? How old is Lee Labrada now? In his mid-60s? Or? He must be, early 60s? 60, surely. Vince Taylor. Yeah. These guys look incredible for their age. And they're still functional. They still look fit. They still, And I think that's because a lot of them train volume. They followed the likes of Arnold, who would train 2-3 times a day for 2 hours a time and just high rep sets. I think it was only really Ronnie that kind of changed the emphasis on how you should train, and Dorian obviously as well. Yeah. And then there was all sorts of high intensity methods and low volume. But both those guys' careers were really cut shorter than they wanted. With injuries. Yeah, there you go. Dorian always said, if I could go back and do it all over again, my one thing I would like to do, he said, is I'd like to back off on the poundages, say 4 weeks out from a show, 6 weeks out of a show. He said, that's the one thing, if I went back, I would do differently, that I would do differently. Yeah. I think some people, you could say it's like a ticking time bomb with the risk that they're putting themselves under every session. I mean, I don't like to use him as an example, because I've got a great amount of respect for him, and I just think some people they enjoy training a certain way so much that they can't bring themselves away from it. Yeah. And that's, I can understand that. But when I see James do these crazy squats, and he's so strong on pressing as well, like he's rivaling the strongest bodybuilders in the world. Nick Walker's pressing 200-pound dumbbells, and so is James.
What was Martin Fitzwater doing? He was doing, he was on tour traveling with Gasp.
Yeah.
And he was doing 80 kilo dumbbells for like 10, 12 reps. I mean, you'd think with the traveling and not getting enough food in, and you'd think your strength would drop considerably. He was just like punching up the 80s. And I'm like, what point do you have to, like Nick Walker, I hope that guy doesn't get injured.
Well, when I see Nick kick up the 175-pound dumbbells for shoulder press,
wow,
I was like,
that's incredible.
I know how heavy they are because I've got 180s in my gym.
Yeah.
And kicking them up for the incline dumbbell press was hard enough.
Yeah.
So shoulder press from a seated position, lifting them upright, that's crazy.
And if he was training by himself and I was the other guy in the gym, I'd leave the gym because he'd be like, "Oh, bro, can you pass me a dumbbell?"
Yeah, but he did it himself.
Oh, he did himself?
Yeah. He didn't get passed up.
Because like those kind of dumbbells. We were in Sweden. It was the classic guy that was training with him. He was struggling to pick the 80s up.
Yeah. No, he did them himself.
That's amazing. Yeah. I can't do that.
I don't think he even got passed onto his knee, which I would do at the very least. Like, pass it onto my knee.
Yeah. Yeah, just douche.
But yeah, you got to look at it two ways. Things that James and people like Nick are doing right now, on one hand, they're super, super impressive. And they're like feats of strength. But on the other hand, I think we're bodybuilders. We're not powerlifters. Yeah. And we're there to create a physique. Now, maybe their style of training in their head is creating the physique that they want to create. Yeah. Like James has made some ridiculous progress in the last 3 years, 2 years.
I wonder what if he tried, say, a different style of training, like a more higher volume, like a Milos. I wonder what 3 months of training, what Milos has done with your physique. Yeah. I wonder what that would do for someone's physique like James, where it would create such a change in stimulus that his body would completely go to the next level again, whether he'd go backwards.
Who knows? Milos was wanted actually this session here. Yeah. He wanted James to come in on.
Did he?
Yeah. And James was torn because he said he'd do the session with me and Milos, and then he got invited late by Flex to train with him.
Ah, okay.
So he's like, do you know what? I might not get this chance to train with Flex again. So he took that road out, which was a road I would have took, to be honest, because leg session with Milos, or I think it was a leg session with Flex, or maybe something else.
I always wonder if someone like Milos said, "Giles, do you want me to put you through a leg workout?" Part of me goes, of course, yes, I would. I would not want to turn that down. That's a once in a lifetime thing. Yeah. Or whether I'd just make an excuse. I honestly don't know. I don't know. Because what was I remember Ronnie asked me to train with him once, and I went, no, I'm doing a different body part.
Really?
And it was about 6 months later, I went, oh my God, Ronnie was kind of hinting for me to train with him. Yeah. This was in Birmingham. And it was one of those really I can't believe. He's like, Giles, what are you training? And all the other guys were training back. Yeah. And I said, oh, I'm doing arms. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm doing shoulders. And then he kind of looked at me like that. And then he went off and did shoulders. Oh, and looking back, I turned down an opportunity really to join and train with Ronnie. So I always wonder but something like legs with like a Tom Platz or a Milos, it's like, it's going to hurt. Mm-hmm. It's going to be...
Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
I think you just have to just say yes and just kind of just give it your all.
Definitely.
Sybil put me through legs once, Sybil Peters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was unpleasant. And shoulders she put me through, but my shoulders the next day were all blown up.
Exactly.
And I was like...
Yep.
So, right, okay then, Jamie, we will have a quick 2-second break and we'll come back with your shout out and we'll finish off this amazing episode. But where can they, if they want to subscribe to your YouTube channel, what is it?
So YouTube is Jamie Christian, aka The Giant. I've just put it all in there. But if you put in The Giant or aka The Giant, something's going to come up, or Jamie Christian.
Well, I put in The Giant and that came up, and that's a really good, good search, that. If someone puts that in, that's...
So you can put that in on YouTube, aka The Giant on Instagram. Come and say hello.
Okay, guys, we're right back after with Jamie's shout-outs. Okay, Jamie, we're going to go to your very special shout-out segment to who made Jamie the Giant who he is today.
So obviously, the first person we got to shout out is Milos, right?
He is the most important person on this planet.
He is the most important person on this planet, apart from the wife. Don't
Of course.
say that.
Okay. Edit. Most important man.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
There you go.
Sorry, Dad.
Right. So,
basically, we started working together in 2015, and he was my first ever coach.
that's right, yeah.
So I went right in there at the top, you know.
How did you get him, though?
Emailed him. He told me his rates,
Yeah.
which at the time, for me, were like extraordinary, but
Good or high?
high.
Oh, okay.
I think, you know, let's put it into context, right? So I was a fireman, so I was earning max £2,000 a month,
Yeah.
and then obviously we had bills and credit card debt, whatever else the normal household does.
Yeah.
And I think it was £1,600 for 4 or 6 months, or maybe £1,800 for 6 months.
Right. Well,
But it's like a month's salary.
yeah. Well, you got kids as well,
Got kids.
so you got responsibilities.
Yeah.
And
And this is when I was still an amateur, never had a
Yeah.
coach before,
that's true.
didn't even know how much coaches were. Coaching really wasn't a thing, but it was becoming a thing because you had people like Nathan Harmon, Pro Bodies,
Yeah.
that was like the man at the time,
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
prepping James and Nathan and Ricardo and Sean Trevernier.
That's right. Yeah.
So I was like, I actually think I messaged Nathan Harmon at the same time, messaged Milos, and it was Milos's email back that just captured me,
Why?
because he was, and he is to this day, and has always been, amazing with his words, very motivational, just high energy. That's what you
Yeah.
get from Milos, isn't it? Energy, and I could feel the energy in the email. And it just like I was like,
Yeah,
I've
that's
got to
cool.
make
That's cool.
this work. I've
Yeah,
got to
yeah.
make it work. And I said to the missus, says it's fucking 1,800 quid.
Was that when you started OnlyFans?
No, only man's.
Urinating on men's feet to pay Milos.
Definitely not.
Sorry.
By the way, I've not got OnlyFans as well, Josh. You like people.
You have?
What? No, I haven't.
What can you give us the?
Exactly. You're gonna get people asking, what is it? What's the?
I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna screenshot a load of pictures. I'm gonna start one.
What's the URL?
I'm gonna start yours. Yeah, I'm gonna make a load of money selling your trunks.
Yeah. So.
I'm just business ideas.
Oh,
Sorry, go on.
So, the wife, who we'll speak about later, she's always been my biggest fan and supported my bodybuilding journey, and also seen that I almost need to invest in myself to get to where I want to be, not just for me but for the family as well. And she was like, well, let's do it. So I was like, shit, okay, you're letting me spend £1,800 of our money
Yeah.
on a coach,
She's
which
like
is
the,
at the
she's like
time
the UK Brandy Curry.
Brandy Curry.
Literally, Brandon and Brandy Curry. Like
Oh,
that's
right.
it. Sounds it's this
Yeah,
very
yeah.
similar story.
Yes.
You know, where you're looking to level up. You're looking to, you know, do something like that. So yeah, it just remind me of that.
So that's her name, Brandy. You got Brandy and Brandon.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Brandy Curry.
I didn't even know
So
that.
when I say Brandy Curry, you're just like, what the hell is he talking about? What is
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
Is this your favourite dinner or something?
Yeah, but isn't it weird how couples come together and they're like Brandy and Brandon? That's weird. Anyway, story for another day.
Yes.
So yeah, Milos, he led me to my first British title in 2015, and then we parted ways in 2016, really just because I wanted to experience other avenues, other coaching ideas and methodologies, and learn as a coach and as an athlete as well. So I had a few different coaches in the meantime, and then we connected again. When was it? November, when I was in Vegas, November 21.
Right, yeah.
And now we're doing our
Gosh, it
first prep
feels longer than that.
into 2022. So 7 years later, we'll be working towards our next show.
Well, you got the win with him in 2015.
Yeah, so
You know?
fingers crossed.
So now
He's very confident I can win a show this year.
I think you can. I think you can.
I'm confident that it's going to happen as well.
I think if you're doing 7 shows as well,
Yeah.
I think you're going to, there's potential for a win there. And if not, a shitload of points.
Yes, definitely.
Because I don't really, with the improvements you've been making,
Yeah.
I see you kind of pulling off some very, very good placings.
If I don't win, I should be like battling top threes. That's my my
I
view.
was thinking top 3.
Yeah. Well, obviously, the reason why we need to give Milos a shout out as well, not just because he's my coach, but because of what he's given to the industry.
Yeah.
And I think in my lifetime, what he's given back recently as a coach and as a ambassador for bodybuilding, not as a competitor.
Right.
So obviously, he was a great competitor, loved competing and did at one time the record amount of shows in the IFBB.
Yep.
Obviously overtaken by Dexter.
All of them.
Yeah, he did everyone.
Every single one. Do you consider him a friend?
Yes, 100%. And that's how he makes me feel and makes other athletes feel, like Samson, Regan. He's definitely that friend / family member, father figure, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But he's just, I guess he's one of the boys as well. And he's so invested in this passion, bodybuilding, and seeing others progress and succeed. He was lucky in his day. He's said countless times, countless stories that he would always help out his fellow athletes, give them his insulin protocols, or he would train them.
Ronnie?
Yeah, Ronnie,
Do you remember when he got
Nasser.
did you hear the story about when he got the food mixed up?
No?
Did you ever with Vicky Gates?
No.
He got the food mixed up. I think it was Chad. Yeah, and he got it was some bloody no, that was Chad Nichols. Sorry, no, it was it was some insulin with the rice and everything. Sorry, it was something sparked again.
So the opposite to selfish is selfless, right?
Yeah,
I think Milos is selfless. He's a selfless person, and he's always wanted to help others. So I
don't see favoritism as well, which is very, very unusual with these high profile coaches. They'll always have their one or two boys that that they post probably 3 times as much. You know, and I know he posts a lot about Regan, but Regan's on his doorstep. I think if you lived in Vegas, he'd be doing exactly the same for that level, you know?
Look at that. Posts. 7,680 posts. I was looking at mine earlier when it came up, and I thought mine was good. Mine's under 3,000.
Wow.
That shows how much he posts. He posts everything, not just...
Even now, he's still posting stuff from the 94 Olympia. Because he's had somebody sat there filming every single show. There's stuff coming out that hasn't been seen before. I mean, could you imagine being Dorian Yates or Ronnie Coleman or Kevin Navrone and Milos tags you into something of a show that you did 27 years ago that you've never seen that angle from?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That makes you look... Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's so like... Because now everything's filmed on, everyone's filming on everything. Yeah. But, you know, like he would... All these shows, he'd have somebody sat there, all these Grand Prix, and he's got such a catalogue of...
Just noticed something anyway, guys.
What's that, mate? What?
Whose Instagram profile is this?
Milos?
No. Who's this profile who we're searching on? Is this yours, Giles?
Yeah.
Why don't you follow Milos?
What?
Why don't you follow Milos?
Why?
Why don't you?
Well, no, because it's when I had the Olympia show countdown. Why?
It says you don't follow him.
Oh no, because this is when I had that pilot show for the Olympia countdown. If you look on the back of there. And I set up an Instagram account to bring stuff up. So this is not... I don't follow anyone on this account. So this isn't
yours account?
No.
Okay.
I see. Yeah. Milos is great. Giles, you don't even follow him. No. This is like it's like a lurker account that I use it to bring stuff up.
I just wanted to clear this up for you because I want to save face.
Yeah. So anyway, we've obviously seen... You know, obviously, we don't need to go through Milos's account, but we seem to be doing it anyway.
No, he's doing amazing things. Like I said,
love his social media as well.
The reason why he's got so many posts is, like you said, he doesn't favoritism towards anyone. He posts everyone. Not even in the sport. He's got UFC things here, and it's just him enjoying life, which is great to see. Just a
very, very, very quick side note. Aren't you impressed with Neil Curry?
Oh, he looks amazing. And he's got his first show coming up. Is it this weekend or next weekend at Pittsburgh?
Yes. Look at his legs. He's out there now.
Yeah.
Look at his legs.
He looks amazing.
Look at those quads.
Yeah, man.
I mean, this guy was shredded 6 weeks ago.
Do you know what? He's got glute striations in his off season. So how he pulls off 30, 40 pounds, I don't know.
Look at the graining. I mean, he literally looks like stone. I mean, I mean, he's probably not pulled. He's not pulled water yet.
No.
I mean, I'm guessing he's going to win Pittsburgh. I'd be very shocked. Yeah. Anyway, let's go to your next one, who is... Explain who this gentleman is.
So this is Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon?
Although he says he's Vince McMahon's cousin.
Is he?
I don't think he is.
Oh, he's not. Oh, okay.
Jim is the owner, CEO of Mutant.
Right, okay.
I wanted to give him a shout out because he's just a great guy. I met him in FIBO for the first time.
This year?
Yep.
So when was that? When was that?
That was April.
Okay.
Start of April, so literally like a month ago.
Okay, so you've literally got to know this guy.
Yeah, and he's just like, he's the owner of this huge company, but he's just a down-to-earth, fun guy to be around.
Cool.
And he does videos for, what does he call them?
What's that?
North America.
That was very noisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Ray. Obviously, Sean Ray's on board with Mutant as well.
Yes.
So
Mutant Nation. That's what he calls them. So people who like follow on with Mutant, he says, "Hello, Mutant Nation."
Right. Okay. Okay.
That's how he starts his videos. Have you seen that one? There?
Yeah, I saw this. That is cool. I mean, I'm from the era that I had that magazine.
Right. Yeah.
So what was that? 94 or something.
Yeah. Something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. But no. Jim has, developed this company, bloody hell. And it's been established like over 20 years. And the company itself they've got so many moving parts, but everyone's got a role. So you've got people looking after the athletes, people who look after setting up the stands at shows.
Brilliant.
People who are looking after the marketing and Instagram accounts and TikTok and all this kind of stuff. You get the feel it is a proper company from the ground up. Yeah. And he's built this. So I just think, he deserved a shout because he's a great guy and the company is fantastic.
He's going against the old hashtag rule there. Your wife.
Yeah.
Too many hashtags.
He gave me some hashtags to post up.
Did he?
I need to tell him actually that apparently 3 or 4 is the max you can use.
Okay. So okay then, if you had to use just 2 Mutant products, what would they be?
I would use the ISO Surge Whey chocolate chip. It's actually got chocolate chips in it.
Oh wow,
very nice.
Is it whey isolate?
Yeah, whey isolate.
I love whey isolate.
Whey isolate's the only whey I would use, to be honest.
Me too.
The whey ISO Surge is that, and then the EAAs, which are actually called Gear. They've put GEAARS in it.
Okay.
So yeah, to be honest with you, the flavours as well are very, very nice.
Nice.
I think with a lot of things that I've used in the past, you can sense that chemical, like additive taste. It's a bit it's just a certain taste. These are very like just easy on the palate, nice flavors. They're a bit sour if anything, but I think that's how they're designed. It's like sour sweets.
So the whey isolate, and what's the other one you said?
The EAAs, but they're called Gear.
Okay. Brilliant. I like a good a BACA when I'm doing cardio. Water or something like that. So cool. Cool. Well, big shout out there to Jim McMahon. Obviously, huge, appreciation for taking you on and helping you pursue your bodybuilding. And I'm glad that, several months on from our conversation in your car park at your gym, it's like you've got it. You're with a good company now, and it's with a 2-year contract. It's it's a solid company. You got Ron Partlow, I know is a great guy. I've known him many years, and it's really good to see that. It seems like a really good fit, and I'm sure you'll be with them for many years to come because they seem to grow their family, not substitute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So okay then, going to this lovely lady.
So that's the wife. She definitely deserves a mention after putting up with me for so many years. Yeah, we've been together in this month on the 22nd, 10 years.
10 years. Okay.
It's our 10-year anniversary.
Cool.
We're actually going to Mexico.
Nice.
She's actually putting up her bum there. I'm not sure.
Is that your lady's bum? Whose bum?
Yeah, my lady's bottom.
Okay.
Bless her.
Cool.
She was showing, actually, play the top left if you could.
What's this? I am female hormone coach.
Yeah, she's a female hormone coach. She's helping women now with her hormones. She's battled hers for many years, so she's got a lot of experience, but she's invested a lot of time and money into learning how to manage and what's needed, what's required.
It's such a great idea, but I've never heard of anyone in the fitness industry doing that. But it seems such an obvious thing when you think about with menopause and female hormones and women who compete and train.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing that I've never seen anyone really tackle. What a fantastic idea.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's worth it as well because you get a lot of less earache when they can manage them.
No, it's important though, isn't it? It's like you think about how.
I don't know how.
God, you're older than 30. That's so old. Bitch, I look younger than you. The fuck are you doing wrong? The fuck?
That's so loud.
Yeah. Oh,
brilliant,
God.
brilliant.
I'm sure Lauren can do this pose very eloquently, like women can. But this one,
I'm just waiting for your arm to pop out of its the socket. Oh,
guys can relate, I'm sure.
Yeah. So any post you want to show quickly, or there's a nice shot there. That's a nice one.
Oh, she was laughing.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Look at that, mate. Where's your socks?
I don't know.
You can't see them on the screen. Hang on, look. I can tell you that Jamie has no socks on.
Oh right, sorry.
So maybe can you not reach to put them on?
No.
It's too far down. You get dizzy.
That's a look. No socks is a look. But on the photo that's above this one, she's laughing her head off because.
Right, let's have a look. Hang on, which
she's
one? This one. This one.
She's saying that my head looks tiny.
Look at the teeth.
I know, yeah, they're quite white.
Lovely, lovely white teeth. Yeah.
Angle game.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I think you need to get some on that GH, get your black hair back.
Yeah, I do. What's going wrong with it? Seen a bit of sun.
I think it looks cool, the black hair and the black beard, because I think you need to get that dodgy.
I'm gonna have to get it blacked.
Yeah, it looks cool. Looks cool.
So just
Nice.
Obviously,
Nice,
quickly, she does need a shout out because she's put with me for 10 years, but not only put up with me, but supported the lifestyle.
Yeah.
We know how hard it is to support someone who's deeply involved in this lifestyle and a very selfish lifestyle at that. So she's always been my biggest supporter and the person who's pushed me to get bigger, go to America and get sponsors and go to America and train with Milos. Back in 2015, take Milos on as a coach. So hats off to her, because without her support, I don't think I would have been here now with this success and these affiliations and whatnot and connections. So
and just to fill the nose bag 6 times a day for you to chow down on your your grub.
God.
I can't imagine how much time she spends on loading and unloading the dishwasher for all your food.
Yeah, she's not happy. We actually had a discussion this morning about the washing up.
Did you?
So I don't get how the kitchen gets so messy. She's like, "You're fucking cooking."
Why don't women stack dishwashers properly?
I don't know.
Have you noticed?
Women
don't stack dishwashers properly. They don't. There's no logic to it.
I'll tell you the problem is, right? Our dishwasher broke a few months back.
Because they stack it incorrectly.
That's probably the case.
Just between you and me.
So we've been washing pots, and I don't get why women proceed to dry the pots instead of stacking them and letting them drip dry themselves. Like that's just
hang on.
Work smarter, not harder.
Are you a guy that soaks them for 3 days?
I'm a soaker, and I'm a natural dryer. I like them to dry naturally. So you stack and dry. You don't need to use a tea towel.
Do you know what? What you should just put them in the tumble dryer.
Maybe that would work. Yeah.
Seriously, seriously. This is why guys need to take control of these things.
We got it up.
Dishwashers. Yeah, we got it, guys. So okay, going to go to your final one. It is Big Dave Crossland.
Mr. Dave Crossland needs a shout out because he is leading the way at the minute. There's a lot of people doing it, but the thing I like about Dave and his wife who are running eval blood analysis and getting all the athletes that they have through their little bus.
Yeah. How long has he been doing that for?
At least a year, maybe 2 years. But Dave has an immense amount of knowledge about what we use, why we use them.
Right.
So the benefit of him being able to look at your blood results and give you feedback is that he understands why we're using certain things.
Yeah.
Not your general practitioner, your GP that you go to. They're just going to say, "Oh my God, what are you doing to your body? Stop taking all these things right now." There's a difference between let's use liver as an example. Yep. There's a difference between your liver enzymes being elevated and your liver enzymes being unsafe.
Yeah.
Right? So your GP, if they're elevated slightly, so your natural score is supposed to be 50 or below, and they're elevated to 70 to 100, I've had GPs turn around to my clients and say that you need an ultrasound on your liver because it's unhealthy.
I was tested for liver cancer because I said there's the reason why.
Yeah.
And then, well, if you know the reason why are you doing what you're doing? Yeah. I was taking some Anavar. It was like 20 mg of Anavar. It was nothing.
Yeah.
And then, so obviously they don't see, they just see that it's elevated. They don't understand why. So someone like Dave will know why.
Give you feedback based on.
Not tell you to panic on certain things.
Exactly. So, that's great to have him on hand. And if you are getting your bloods tested at the minute, if you do live local to Huddersfield, where I believe Dave lives, or Dave's doing
It's not
visits.
far from us.
Yeah, he's doing visits to competitions, so he'll be at like certain competitions throughout the year, offering services, sponsoring events. And the way I go and see him is he's at Rotherham Ultraflex at the last Sunday of every month.
Okay.
So every month I'll go and see him, just make sure things are...
You go every month?
Yeah, the minute I go every month, because the big thing for me, I don't know if it's because I'm bigger, but my blood thickness will always be high.
Right.
So 170 is max. Your score comes back above 170, your blood's thick.
Yeah.
What happens when your blood's thick is obviously, you'll know, but for people out there who don't, that can increase the pressure on your heart, having to pump that blood around because it's thicker, so it's having to work harder.
It makes it sticky.
Yeah.
It doesn't go as easily through the arteries.
Yes, and that obviously impacts the kidneys as well.
Yeah.
So that's why they say blood pressure can be a silent killer, because blood pressure will increase because the heart's pumping harder because it's thicker.
Yeah.
So blood thickness is one of those things that is very, very important to keep under control. And you'll only get your blood thickness down by giving blood.
Right.
So I'll go and give Dave a litre of my blood every month.
Wicked. Now, I remember I had problems with my cholesterol many years ago, and Dennis James, he DM'd me on MD Forum. And he said, Giles, I want to put this public. He says, but, I've got clients who've got high cholesterol. And he says, and take, it was a high-dose non-flushed niacin, like 1,000 milligram, and N-acetyl-carnitine at a certain dose. He says, and I'm telling you, that will help your cholesterol. But it takes someone in the industry to know, like people like Dave, to know that something like that is, rather than say, oh, the doctor just prescribing you statins.
Yeah.
When I don't want to be on shit. I never want to be on shit like that, you know? So it's for people like Dave Crossland, it's very, I keep hearing, because I remember when I used to be, obviously working in media, I used to be sat behind him when he used to be a judge.
Yeah.
A big dude. And I hear a lot of good things about Dave, what he does. And at the end of the day, people like this are now keeping guys like you as healthy as possible to make sure you've got Milos getting you as big as possible, but people like Dave Crossland keep you healthy.
So important. You got to cover all bases. The sport can be unhealthy, but what we've discussed today, it can be healthy if you just follow certain practices, guidelines, and the big thing to take away is probably the length of time you're on things versus the length of time you're off, and getting these checks done as well with people like Dave, and making sure that your health's in a good place at all times. Yeah.
All right then, Jamie. Clear my throat there. I think that's it.
Yeah, that's a wrap.
I think it's a wrap, my friend. Thank you so much for coming all this way again.
Pleasure.
I wanted to make this all about you.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's all about...
It's been a good one.
Giant special.
Yeah.
Giant special.
From me and Batman. Might see you again.
All right, then, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. And we will see you next week for MD Glow Muscle. I'm Giles Thomas, and I'm here with Jamie the Giant. And big thank you. And we will see you next week. And ladies and gentlemen, we are out.